square amount of us?
That's not helpful at
I
all.
wonder. Squeezed me. Squozed
Do we
me.
really think it's? Why would it be
I don't know.
square?
Maybe it's just to
This
keep it out of our
I
faces.
think it is.
Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Steve,
I'm Karla.
and we have other Fullbrighters here. Mute the guy. Yeah, Nina, who's running chat for us. Tynan.
Who's barely visible.
Well, okay,
Tiny shoulder.
so
There he is.
we have a couple of questions for chat.
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
questions
yeah.
for chat. One, can you hear us? And is it too loud compared to the game? Two,
Can you see us?
can you see us? Because when we did our camera setup, it was showing it widescreen, but on
Yeah.
our screen it's showing it square.
It's super square.
Oh, by the way, you can see Hannah even if it's square.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, they can hear us.
Visible.
Okay.
After this ad finishes, they'll be able to tell.
Sure.
I have the stream open and I can see us.
Yeah, but we are
It's
square.
very tiny. Yeah.
We're
Square and tiny.
no. Okay, so Noelle, you should lean in. There's Noelle.
Audio mix sounds good.
Okay.
That's been verified.
So Noelle, our animator at Fullbright, is also here. So this is as many people as we can cram into a square aspect camera.
Square.
Turns out.
Let's
Yeah.
push over a tiny bit then. Just a teeny bit.
You mean you that way?
No, I mean that way.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
It's
you're,
like-
you're on, but Tynan isn't on.
Oh, alright.
I don't know, we can do
In
it.
that
Let's
case,
leave it
maybe
how it
10
is.
Oh, it's fine. We're alright.
It's good. The content is good.
You can see
Oh, is it?
When Tynan says something, you're just gonna have to squoze your head next to
Alright,
Nina
that's
like
a
that.
really good way to handle that.
I believe in it. Okay, so people are seeing a square. People are hearing us talk. That's great. Yeah, so we have a few people that have joined the stream. We'll archive this later so that you can watch this if you couldn't see it live, because I'm pretty sure it's like 2 in the morning in parts of the world that aren't the American states of America, etc. Yeah, I'm Steve Gaynor. I was the writer and designer of Gone Home. Karla was my story editor and did the 2D art for Gone Home. And we have just finally gotten Gone Home onto Xbox One and PlayStation 4 in North America. We're ironing out some things, and it'll be in Europe and Australia soon. And so to celebrate it being out on consoles after having been on PC for a couple of years now, we're going to do a live playthrough of Gone Home, talk about stuff that we're seeing on screen. Karla and I obviously helped build the thing, and other people from Fullbright are going to be here to kind of be the audience surrogate of people who don't already know it inside out.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, fan girls.
Fan gal.
And so yeah, if you want to join chat, feel free to ask questions about what you're seeing or just general questions about the game, and Nina is going to be picking stuff from chat to share with us, and we can just discuss it.
Oh, is Kate Koala Party?
Yes.
Yes. Yay, she's
So
in
our,
the chat.
It's helping out.
our 3D artist Kate is Koala Parties in chat. She lives in Canada. She built all of the 3D assets, almost all the 3D assets in Gone Home, and she's doing the same for Tacoma. So yeah, here we are. We're gonna start playing through. I will, I think, just start a normal
Just do a
new
game.
game. You know what I'm actually gonna do? I'm gonna go into the options, and I'm going to turn on subtitles so that people in the stream can see subtitles of audio diaries if we're talking over them. Okay, so yeah, Gone Home, available on Xbox One and PS4 in North American territories now. And we are going to start our live developer commentary playthrough. Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you guys for being in chat and asking good questions, and we will answer what we can. Sorry we're so squeezed into a square.
Yeah.
Noelle, you should lean in
Squarey.
again.
Yeah.
Noelle's like, I'm here.
Do that periodically.
Yeah, just be like, I'm here.
Like, I'm ready for another.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. So I got my ticket home from Europe. I
So
get
I'm
back
gonna-
on June 6th, but it's
So
a
chat,
really
I'm
late
going to
flight
talk
because that was
over
cheaper,
this
so it gets me
intro.
at midnight.
Let me know if
But don't worry,
you
I'll
can
get a
still
shuttle
hear
from
us
the airport
when
so
there's
you
an
don't have
audio
to pick me
diary
up.
playing.
Like,
If
really
the game is too
seriously,
loud, I'll
don't
go
have
into the
to.
options and turn it down.
Okay, so
you
love
can actually
you.
hear
See you
us
soon.
even when
Bye.
Katie or Sam is talking.
Our chattering is, for now, more important.
Yeah, you can hear all these audio diaries on your own
In
time.
the game. Yeah.
Okay, cool. People say that they can hear us over
Alright.
the thing. We should probably actually. Hannah,
Yes.
could you grab the remote? I just saw somebody say audio echo. I'm
Yeah.
guessing they're hearing the speakers from the TV. We don't need to be able to hear the game.
Yeah, no, we really don't. Okay.
Okay, so hopefully that helps the audio echo.
Yeah. There's gonna be like a really cool photo card or something, and
we
it's
won't.
gonna like, right, it's gonna punctuate everything we say. We'll never know.
So I don't want to start just with me blabbing. Fans.
What?
What do you guys want to? What would you guys? What were your first impressions, Legos, when you played this? Because you just started on the porch of this house. I don't know.
I actually had a question during the intro.
Yeah.
So I've always been curious where the intro logo came from. The little fleur-de-lis, is it a fleur-de-lis?
Yeah.
And the texture almost looks like it's upholstery.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a fleur-de-lis. That would actually be a good question for Kate,
Yeah.
partially. So in Gone Home, there was this. So there was a lot. Gone Home is a game that's all about deep backstory.
Lore?
Yes.
If you will.
Did I say? I meant lore. I'm sorry, I misspoke. So part of the deep back. So okay. By the way, FYI, spoiler alert. We're not gonna. This isn't gonna be a no spoiler playthrough of this game. If you haven't played it on console, the one thing I'll say is that just seeing us play through it, it's not going to spoil a whole lot because if you're not actually playing it, you're not going to have context for what's going on. It will spoil where some secret things are and stuff, but we're just going to be talking about everything in the game.
Yeah.
So I understand we're doing this like the day after launch, but if you haven't played Gone Home and you want to, and you don't want it to be spoiled, you might want to come back when this is archived and actually play the game first, because it is a game that's about discovering the story of this place, and we are just going to be talking about all of it.
And
Fair warning,
over it.
spoilers.
And like, we're gonna ruin things.
Yeah. So, spoiler alert, save it for later if you haven't played it before. If you've played it before, welcome to the stream. If you don't care about spoilers, welcome to the stream. Part of what, part of the backstory of the house is that it was built by the parents of Sam and Katie's great uncle in the late 19th century, and they were distillers, and they made alcohol out of wheat, and they kept doing that like during Prohibition.
Even though they weren't supposed to, so they became bootleggers.
Right. And so Kate, in a lot of the motifs in the house, we can see it. Well, so this is different.
That has the oak situation. So
which I don't remember the symbolism of.
There was some Kate.
Yeah, Kate can share the symbolism of this particular bloom. Yeah. But there are in other places throughout the house. If I go inside, I'll go inside real quick. In other places in the house, like I think over the
Kate has said that's true. I'm not sure. I assume she was talking about what you guys were just saying.
So like in some of the woodworking details in the house and stuff, I don't even remember.
There's one at the top of the stairs.
Right.
Yeah. Dump the duck and turn the light on, and
isn't it like back here?
yeah, there you go.
It's up there. So up here.
A little hard to see.
It's
like a sheaf.
So throughout the house, there's this motif of wheat and sheaves of wheat and stuff, and that was to reference that the house was built on distilling as what they had done.
Right.
So
it's like their family history.
Yeah. So that symbol between the words "gone" and "home" in the intro and outro, it might be derived from that. But Kate's wife Emily did our title art and our UI art and all that kind of stuff, and I think she just kind of gave us that logo with that cool little thing in the middle of it. And
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I think that's the main answer. This is Christmas Duck.
She's very cheap.
Christmas Duck is a sweet little friend. He's the first and only character that you actually encounter in the game. And so one of the things with the console versions is that there are achievements and trophies on the console versions, which there weren't in the Steam versions. There is one that involves carrying Christmas Duck with you all through the game. So I'm about to do a Christmas Duck run, y'all.
I have some questions from the
I'm
chat.
going to be throwing Christmas Duck around a lot, but I'm still going to do it.
Alright.
Yeah, what's up, Nina?
Well, one is from mmace134, which is that if you could go back and change something about the game, would it be to add anachronistic Tsum Tsums?
It's just a good question.
It's a good question. I just wanted to read it.
That was Noel's hand giving approval. There we
Noel
go.
approves of Tsums.
So this is the canonical way to carry Christmas duck, FYI.
So that he's looking at your face.
Oh God!
But you're like, oh,
staring.
what's this duck you have here? Oh, hey. Oh, what was that? Hi. So now Christmas duck is an extreme friend. Yeah, what else we got?
Okay, so well, there was some talk in the chat early on about people sharing their experience of thinking it was a ghost story when they first started it.
Yeah.
Which perhaps you guys would like to talk about.
Well, when I first got the game and played it, I have a very low tolerance for scary games, and I started up, and someone gave it to me, and I was like, what were you thinking?
much has
This is
changed.
terrifying looking.
Even just
Didn't
as
know
you've
me
been
at
away.
all, and I played it, and it was fine. But
I'm at a new school.
I was unnerved, for sure.
And my big sister being
it's
gone for a
secretly
year
only
doesn't make
scary
it
for a
any
little
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's
It
right.
doesn't feel real.
I mean, that was part
But
of.
I'm not
so,
gonna
okay.
let it faze me.
In a
I
video
used to
game,
tell you
have to be able
everything,
to flush
and
the
if I
toilet.
can't do
Yeah,
it in
that's
person,
important.
And you have to
because
be
you're
able
off
to feel safe.
gallivanting around who knows
So,
where.
so we,
Yeah.
so
Until it's this
we're
true.
checking the boxes.
Just
Yes.
This is a game,
Yes.
a real game. We just proved it.
Based on bathrooms, that's all you need to
I
know.
mean, fully interactive bathroom. Yeah, I think you know, we basically Karla and I, and at this point Tynan and our programmer Leon, and at Fullbright, and the programmer of Gone Home, Yonaman, who was one of the co-founders of the company when we started Gone Home. We had all worked on the BioShock series together. Specifically, we had all worked on BioShock 2 together at 2K Marin. So still, Fullbright is 50% ex-2K Marin people at this point. But, you know, coming off of that, we wanted to make this non-combat, first-person game. And we really felt like it was important for there to be a sense of urgency and kind of like intrigue to it, because it's not going to be about how you're paying attention because you want to make sure that splicers don't shoot you. You have to feel like there's some other reason to kind of be on edge and need to figure out what the mystery is that happened here. And so the goal was, spooky old house, middle of the night, dark stormy night,
Duck looking you directly
duck
in the
staring
face.
at you unnervingly.
Looking into your brain,
into
through
your soul.
eyes. Yeah.
So, you know, we never wanted it to be a ghost story or a horror game, but we definitely knew that that's what we were implying at the beginning. Like, we were giving players plenty of rope to assume something scary must have happened here, which we were kind of going for, but that made it our goal throughout the course of the game to
Contravene that.
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
yeah.
To pull you away from that assumption to the point where by the end you're like, okay, this isn't about ghosts. It's about what happened to this family, and I just want to know what that is. You know?
Yeah. By the way, someone in the chat had said that the audio diaries were a little bit louder than your voice.
Okay.
So, just
I
in case
will
you hear
adjust
a little
our
bit.
options.
Um,
Thank you, chat, for helping with that. Want to make this a good stream. Want to make this a #1 stream.
I have a couple more questions actually. If you
Sure.
want.
I mean, we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just drive around. I'll interrupt the questions if there's something that. So anybody should just scream and interrupt the questions. Like anybody on the couch, if I'm looking at something and you want to make a comment about it or whatever. But in between, yeah, I can just answer questions.
So, Squid Mochi asked, did you have to come up with a blueprint of the house, or was it designed piece by piece?
I mean, we just went as we went, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean,
think,
it was in stages.
I mean, that's true. It was in chunks.
It wasn't room by room. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But we didn't do a blueprint. I mean, like, part of the planning for level layout involves, like, sort of drawing a little map. So, like, that occurred at multiple stages. But we didn't make the whole house all at once or anything. We made it, like, chunk by chunk.
Yeah. Very early in development, I did a sketch of the West Hall, which is generally kind of the first main area that players go to in the game. Just
Is
like
that this left side?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be over here, and the upstairs, because we knew that was kind of the first part of the house we were building. I drew that, and that was really based on, you know, like pure level design considerations.
How can you not click on my fucking itinerary?
I'm trying to. I
You
just
horrible
looked at that.
monster.
I was talking and clicking.
All right.
Yeah, this was the first.
It's the first thing I made. For
Yeah,
the game,
this
I
was like
think.
the first
Yeah.
document. That,
And this is made from scratch. Like I made this map like in a vector program for free.
you actually drew out the outline of all of
Yeah,
that?
I fucking did. Because like I don't know. Yeah, you can't.
Look at all the detail on that iron.
Look, it's so
Just
might
look at
say
that
too
island.
much.
I mean, I guess I assumed that you found like
Nope.
an existing map and vector.
Dang.
No.
Vectorized it.
Looks
Wow.
really good.
Yeah.
Cool.
This was kind of based on real maps like
Oh, yeah.
this of like different
Yeah.
routes to hub,
Yeah.
airline hubs. And
I've
everything.
since been chastised for putting a hub in Cincinnati. Like people have been like, that would never happen.
Yeah, well, this is a
alright.
fictional airline.
Yeah.
This doesn't take place in our universe. The Gone Home universe, Cincinnati is the perfect place for an airline hub.
I love how their major hubs are Cincinnati and Newark. It's like, boy, this is not that great an airline. it's pretty good.
But she went to Amsterdam. It's
I know,
circled.
I made it there.
You
It's
can
fine.
do a direct flight from Newark to Zurich.
I mean,
Sick.
it seems cool.
I mean, more people are gonna
Yeah.
fly it because it's probably gonna be a little cheaper because it's in Newark instead
That's
of New York
valid.
City.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that was part of my thinking, actually.
Yeah, that actually
It's
makes
It's
a
like
lot
it's
of sense.
close,
Yep.
but...
Yeah. This is one of those things
No one
where
has- yeah.
soon after Gone Home came out, some headlines were made
Oh,
that,
yes.
that took some comments a little bit more literally than intended, which is fine, whatever. I mean, you can, it's all just like fan interpretation. Us being fans and everyone else, but having worked on the BioShock series, we wanted to do some nods
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the stuff that we had worked. I mean, because we're all fans of BioShock, and then we were lucky enough to work on the series, and it was important to us, and blah blah. So, for instance, the kind of direction for this logo and everything was to Karla to make an 80s branding update to the airline that Jack's plane crashes at the beginning of BioShock. What was it? Apollo?
Apollo, I
It's
think.
Apollo
Yeah.
Air, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the winky nod is like that Katie was flying on the same airline that the player character from BioShock was flying on when he crashed in 1960. But of course, we never
Yeah.
name it or anything.
I'm
It's just
like,
a real
that's
winky wink.
Fairly subtle.
Yeah. But there's a couple of places
Yeah.
where basically we were like, we should just imply that this
Just a
isn't
couple
that
things.
this shares a universe, a fictional theoretical fictional universe
Yeah.
with BioShock. But they're like super wink and nod. Just,
Yeah.
it's just us being dorks, and liking to make things be in the same universe as other things.
Yeah, and I don't know, Steve and I met when we were working on Chicken Red, and I don't know, we wouldn't have worked together for work before it. Oh, look at how good that looks!
Oh,
Look at those little contact things.
Nice work, Kate.
Kate updated the phone from the PC version. It's very nice.
Yeah. Got any more chat ups?
Yeah. So
Move the camera away
next
from this.
question. No, it's really good.
Yeah,
I
away
No,
from
actually.
what?
it's terrible. It's evil.
Away from what?
Oh, when I was playing Gone Home, I saw this and was just like, oh my gosh, like.
Away from what?
Growing up in Massachusetts, like so many old school Massachusetts
know.
homes have this exact painting. So I saw that and was like, I know. I was like,
Yeah.
now I
Right?
know what's
Yeah.
happening in this game.
Nina and I both grew up in Massachusetts, so she understands
Yeah.
things that many do not.
Yes, it is
But-
definitely a thing. So Lokno asked, were there ever any plans to do something with Mitten's collar and photo in the secret room? It
Oh,
seemed too
right.
perfect that you could find those and replace the photo and name tag of Oscar
yeah,
on the
yeah,
summoning
yeah.
circle. Hee hee.
Well, you
Aw.
can't. Okay, so you can't so I didn't go so far as to script
Yeah.
a putback trigger so that
Yes.
you could actually intentionally place it. But no, I mean that's the thing. I don't know. We have one
You are so
very
lucky
goofy
you finished
Easter
high
egg
school
diary,
before we moved into
but
this
it's
house.
totally just
So,
out of
it's
fiction.
the
It's
first
just
day of
nonsense,
school.
basically.
And there I am, introducing myself
I
to the
didn't.
class.
We didn't want to
And I say
actually
that I just
have
do a lot of that.
a for real exorcism
All of a
or
sudden,
like
every kid in the room
seance or
turns
whatever
and just
happen if you were
stares
to.
like I
put-
suddenly transformed
we didn't
into
want you
a
to be able to
mutant.
summon Mitten's ghost base. Right. What if it's too much of a ghost game?
Yeah, and then would have had to make
Now
a
maybe
ghost
nobody knows
cat
my
model
name,
with ghost
They
cat
all know who I
animation.
am. The
Ooh, I
Psycho
don't know.
House Girl.
And sometimes just having the suggestion of something like that
Yeah.
is more fun because then people can speculate about it, and that's a nice little piece of fiction to have
Yeah.
people thinking about.
I mean, that was basically that was what we wanted to do. That was the weird thing that in my head when I was thinking about the starting point. Is like there's a bunch of stuff in this game. Like some of the early things you see are like this obituary of you find at the end Sam's dad's uncle at the end of the obituary. I mean that this is the player character's great uncle, and then he died and left this house to the family, and then Sam and Lonnie start getting into like ghost hunting as a lark. They have like a ghost hunter journal and all this kind of stuff. And something that is weird about setting a video game in the real world is there's no reason there couldn't be ghosts in the game. Like, it's a video game, you can put whatever, right? Like, zombies could come out of the backyard.
You could have a dragon in the living room.
Yeah.
That would be possible.
Yeah, and but like, when you play a game, it's almost like the assumption there might as well be some kind of supernatural element, because it's like, oh, that's cool, that's spooky, blah.
Because you can make it happen.
Yeah, and so, like, what I thought and hoped was interesting was just really trying to drive home the idea that this game just takes place in our own world.
Yeah.
And so, like, the comparison I made was, like, in a game, you come in, you see a Ouija board, an obituary, and a ghost hunt, and, a teen is making a ghost hunter journal, and you're kind of like, are there ghosts?
Yeah.
But, like, if you went over to your aunt and uncle's house, and your teen cousin had a ghost hunter journal, you wouldn't be like, are there really ghosts here?
Or you might. Or you might.
Someone might. Yeah.
My mom would.
True.
Does your mom love ghosts?
My mom believes truly that there is a ghost in my childhood place that I grew up in the house.
Oh,
Yeah, she's always talking about it.
Is there really a ghost?
Probably not, but there's definitely some old appliances that are really loud.
Are you a ghost, though? What if there were ghost appliances?
They could be, that's true.
So, I don't know, it was basically our goal to say,
yeah.
like, we want to push on the whole, like, look at all this ghosty stuff, to emphasize, no, really, it's just teens joking around, like it would be in the real world, and just sort of, like, acknowledge that the player is thinking about that stuff, and just, like, say, no, seriously.
Okay, I need you to go over what if JFK wasn't JFK.
Yeah.
This is looking super good.
Yeah.
Also, this is Dad's handwriting. This was supplied by Yonaman, who politely did all the
Wrote
dad.
all this
Oh,
nonsense.
that's cute.
All this dad stuff.
So, like, yeah, part
but
of the...
what if JFK wasn't JFK is one of my favorites.
Yeah, part of the story of the game is that the dad of the family is a failed novelist, basically, and like not like a high-minded novelist, like a goofy time travel pulp fiction novelist, and he gave it up a while ago, and now he's trying to get back into it. So this is his little idea board of, if he was going to write a new entry in his JFK time travel novel series, what direction might he go with it? And so I just wrote out all this stuff.
That's awesome.
So like he's trying to be like, all right, and here's my body of work, or how can I move this so
Right.
that it's cool and new again? And he has no idea.
Yeah. And some of this was actually based on research that I did, basically just into the Kennedy assassination, but like LHO is Lee Harvey Oswald, which is not how I ever would have abbreviated that as like an end user, but I realized that
End user of Lee Harvey
of
Oswald.
real life as a normal
I
person.
know. That's true.
But like conspiracy theorists have like shorthand for all of this stuff. Record JFK off HBO, and yes, you can find a VHS tape elsewhere in the house that is labeled with JFK.
It's real.
It's
nice.
It's real for real.
X-Files? Check with Sam.
And he did that. Like that's like crossed off. He's like, all right, it's taken care of.
Anyway, any other good questions from the team or the chat? Anybody got thoughts? Noelle, you want to lean in?
She's
What's
still
games?
here.
Ask us a stupid question.
I have more
Somewhere.
questions from chat at
Okay.
any point.
I mean, thank you guys again for being in chat and sending in good questions. It is cool to get to actually like respond while we're playing and looking at stuff.
Yeah, there's lots of questions. So one that I almost want to answer myself.
Do it, and then you start. And
Someone asked if you can think of any games that were influenced by Gone Home that you saw come out after, and Sybil was. And I wrote about Civil, a game that myself and
So it is.
my friends
Sarah
released
Holst.
fairly recently started when I was in grad school, and Gone Home was one of the 3 games that I referenced in my thesis paper
Nice.
when I was like working. It was basically a big glorified design document, and Gone Home was one of them, just like in terms of the environmental narrative stuff. So
That's really cool.
yeah, so I guess that's my answer to that question. I don't know if you guys want to elaborate
Yeah.
or I have some
Well,
more.
Nina is a level designer at Fullbright on our next game, Tacoma, but yeah, she also does her own indie games. So if you like Gone Home, if you're interested in what we're doing, check out her game Civil that's on Steam and her website now. Cibele.
Yeah, I've learned that no one knows how to spell that, which is kind of funny.
Make your game easy to spell
Yeah.
is a good starting
Oops.
point. Here's one of Dad's. Here's some overage of one of Dad's 2 novels.
God awful books.
Which this is his hardback edition.
It's very nice.
I mean, I now realize it's pretty noteworthy that he got a hardback edition of these pieces of crap.
Maybe-
that they didn't
I
go
mean,
straight
like-
to paperback, but
yeah,
I guess he was trying.
I mean, like, I think I based this off of, like, I don't know, some garbage thrillers that I remember seeing in used bookstores, like, back in the, like,
I buy it. I just
early
never
90s.
thought of like, hardback. They kind of shelled out for this release.
Yeah, maybe they were on the spy kick and they were like, surely this will be, this will be good. It'll do great. And it didn't do great.
Other games.
Wait,
that...
you need to. I need to look at the horrible blurbs I made.
All right. James Bond for today's audience.
I like a thriller worth its salt. It's totally like the most faint praise. Like I don't know.
Attributed
It's good. It's
to
good.
2 people that we used to work
Yes.
with at 2K Marin,
Yes.
who didn't work on Gone Home, but David Pittman was a programmer on Bioshock 2, and he's released Eldritch and Neon Struct as a solo developer since then. So winks and nods.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
As far as other games that I think were influenced by Gone Home, I don't want to be presumptuous, but
Yeah.
I know, just having talked to developers who worked on them, I know that the Life is Strange folks called it out as an inspiration and a reference point.
And in fact, they mentioned that I think they were pitching their game, and the fact that Gone Home existed made it easier for. Oh my God!
Gosh, Dad!
Mother of Our Lady!
No! Gosh, Dad!
But they were able to pull out Gone Home as an example of why they should be able to make their game, that it would do okay, which I thought was really sweet.
I mean, if we could be a little bit of evidence to
real.
help other games get an audience, like doing a little bit of our part, I'll take it.
Real.
I love this book. I like this book. Wasn't there another teen advice book?
There is.
Yeah, those two. When I picked those up when I was playing this, I was like, oh my god! I remember finding this like. We never had any in my house, but my friends had some, and specifically like a lot of like what are periods type books, and this totally reminded me of those books.
Just
Like his outfit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is
You did
oh yeah,
strong,
this
right?
one's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one was Alex Sennwald. who
Carla
was-
didn't
yeah.
do a whole lot of the like illustration-y kind of stuff like this in the game. It was cool. We got to work with a lot of like comics artists
Yes.
and other like indie artists that we knew to do stuff like posters and
Yeah,
whatnot.
in part so that like the
So
style
everything
wouldn't
didn't
get
look
too
like it was the
homogenous.
same
Yeah,
person
'cause
doing
it's
it, yeah.
pretty clear when you do that. Yeah, so.
What do we got here?
I don't know.
Oh,
we
it's a
have
number.
we have locker codes. We got
Lots,
sick
lots,
locker
lots.
codes. Do we love gameplay?
Yeah,
Oh man.
I love unlocking things.
Dude,
Well, guess
same.
what?
We have a bunch
wanna
of that.
unlock it?
Yeah,
Do you love it enough to unlock
Do you remember it from the
Yeah.
folder?
yeah. Oh yeah, I know
Remember
it.
it from
Your
my
first
alarm.
design.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know it because of that. Wait, I feel like I'm okay.
Now you're about to.
Game!
Screaming.
Nina involved herself in gameplay.
I did a gameplay.
I think Amnesia, The Dark Descent, and the other games, the Penumbra games before that, by Frictional Games, were an inspiration to us. Like, they were one of the games that came out before Gone Home. It was like, oh, you can be in a first-person game and not be killing anything, and it can be interesting. And I used the Amnesia level editor to do the very first prototype of Gone Home. You can actually go on the Frictional blog and find the blog post about that, and you can download the very first prototype of Gone Home and load it as a custom story in Amnesia: The Dark Descent. But I think there was sort of a little bit of a loop of influence on influence. I think Gone Home kind of was a point of reference for their new game Soma. you know, I'm definitely. It's really cool to see when other people are exploring and expanding on some stuff that we've done. No
Trash.
Oh!
Yes.
Dunker.
That was live.
Eat it.
Actually, someone was
Firewatch. What is Firewatch?
What is
By
Firewatch?
Campo Santo. Yeah. Anyway.
a friend of mine from New York, Ben, was actually, you were just talking about Amnesia, and I guess you kind of answered, I think potentially answered his question from what you just said, but he was asking if you could talk about how the game evolved from being a mod of Amnesia, and why you started that way, and then you decided to change to Unity, etc.
Oh no, Dad.
Dad, you
Dad,
brought
you
up
made it up there.
Come on,
You're
Dad.
looking behind the books.
Too many dad secrets.
Yeah, you're finding all of Dad's stuff.
Yeah.
Dad.
I mean, Katie's just finding out stuff about Dad that she wishes she didn't know.
But yeah, I guess he was just asking about that background.
I reached out to the Amnesia guys, and they were basically just like, yeah, we can't really support you guys. We aren't looking to like support someone licensing this engine from us. It's not made for that. And we were like, that's cool. So then, we went from there to just a blank Unity project and started putting stuff on screen. You know, I mean, the nice thing is there's a fair amount of stuff in the Unity asset store that kind of can fill the gaps when you're just starting from scratch. But it was really just like the hit list of like, okay, if the idea is be able to fully interactively explore this house and find out what happened, what do you need to be able to do? Like turn the lights off and on, open drawers and doors and cabinets and be able to read things and zoom in on things and look at them closely and just sort of like dig all those details out of the world. And so it was just sort of like one step at a time. Let's make it so you can click on something and it pops up a JPEG on the screen and you can close it again, all that kind of stuff. So
Nobody's ever called out the fact that it's 2 York news on that TV thing.
what's that?
It's a really weird old what is it? Sutherland, the dad Sutherland. What's his name?
Donald?
Thank you.
Sutherland?
Yes, I think it's a Donald Sutherland movie from the 70s about demolition derby, and it is most of the movie is like him getting into trouble and like cars smashing into one another in like real time. Big fat American cars, and it's like I remember it's fun. It's one of those things that it's like it's about what it's about,
And are you in fact surprised that no one's called that out?
I mean, like this is our video game where people are like, this would never have been on this channel at this,
true.
in this
That is
year,
true.
whatever.
We did get
so,
some people
which,
calling out like that wouldn't have been on Nickelodeon,
right?
Nickelodeon.
Which
Precisely.
like, yeah.
But there is at least one or two other little winky things in here. Like,
Oh,
is,
yeah.
is Mantis in here because of? Wasn't Karl Lumley on Mantis?
Was he?
Oh, is that cool? That's fantastic.
I didn't.
Mantis was the superhero show, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was he a
I think
black
so.
superhero?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah,
Shit.
I'm almost
Maybe he
entirely
was.
sure that's why. So
I either forgot about it or I just thought it was appropriate.
Karl Lumley was the voice of Charles Milton Porter in Minerva's Den, which was the DLC for Bioshock 2 that Karla and I worked on together at 2K Marin. So he was the voice of the main character in that, and he's
terrific.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, and he does other like TV stuff. And
Yeah.
A certain amount of just VO stuff too. Like he was Martian Manhunter in the Justice League, and he did a damn fine job. But yeah.
Yeah, and so we worked with him on Minerva's Den, and so I think that he was the main character on the show Mantis in the 90s. And I'm pretty sure that that's why Mantis is on the TV guide
You probably
as a
asked
weekend
me.
not to.
I forgot about
remember.
it
I
or
don't know.
something. I don't know.
Also, Karl is playing the voice of the station computer in Tacoma, so there is continuity. Universes.
Yeah.
Universe crossover. Got any more good?
Was this Joel? Did this one?
Yeah.
Joel, yeah.
Joel Burgess is one of the designers at Bethesda working on those Skyrim and Fallout games. So basically, in a game where you don't want to use handwriting fonts,
Oh yeah.
you need a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And when you're like, oh,
When
there's
there's
one letter
4
from one
people in
guy,
it.
right?
Yeah.
And so we just reached out to people at View to give us handwriting. It's like, we'll send you the text file, you write it out. So Joel, the designer of Bethesda, he did this for us. And then there's some very sweet references back to the Gone Home team and some of the Gone Home pictures of Fallout 4. So, yeah. Oh, who's that? Oh, who's the author of
That guy?
Of course I wrote Mummy.
Oh,
I wrote Mummy. Sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's sort of come out of these things and packaging, whatever. And there's so many names you have to think of, like
Yeah.
the world, and so
I mean, I did this.
end up doing a lot.
I did
of
the
that.
same thing where
Yeah.
just like making up names. Like I've noticed going back to it, I just noticed that I make up weird names for people. Like
really do.
just for the name of like the
Yeah.
principal or the author of a book
Yeah.
or whatever. Like the.
I actually changed this because you had David had a much weirder last name, and I actually remember being like, "That's a weird name," and I switched it to a paleontologist friend of mine named Sarah Warren, and I used her last name for this because his name was too weird, and I don't remember what it is now, but yes.
Wait,
the
sorry,
author
I don't
that-
want to interrupt you, but people can't hear us over the music right now.
I will do.
And I don't want you to say more words,
Absolutely.
so no one can hear them.
Sure thing. I'll just do this.
Yes. Do you have to also take down? Is
Nah,
that
I mean, I'm just
overall?
pulling down.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that'll affect
Okay.
everything.
Okay, cool.
Sorry about that. Apologies, everyone. It's hard to do a good job and for people to hear things.
Especially when we have the sound off.
Tynan wrote "Mommy."
I wrote Mummy.
Thing right here.
I was just weird. I was just noticing on that teen book in the library, the author's name is Dr. Elisa Medina. And
Yes,
I'm like, what
you
am I
you
doing?
made that up. That is absolutely
Yeah.
yours.
You're
Yeah.
making characters, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't remember what this one is. Your,
So this was-
the name. But
this was drawn.
yeah.
This one was drawn
Oh, it's
by,
amazing. Alex Sunwald.
by Alex Sunwald.
Oh,
She also
yeah, I
did-
love her stuff.
She
She's
did all
so
the stickers
good.
in the game,
Yeah.
and she did the like Trapper Keeper,
Yeah.
like Lisa Frank
Oh,
Trapper
that's
Keeper.
Yeah,
so
she did a lot of
cool.
great stuff.
And
for
the
this.
poster on
She's rad.
Sam's closet door for the like rock music festival,
Yes.
etc.
That's cool. One thing I kind of want to mention that I like about hearing you guys talk about this stuff is that, you know, one thing I always hear come up is like, oh, like, you know, putting personal stuff in games. And I always think it's cool to hear, like, what the things that are personal but aren't obviously personal that
Right,
people
right.
put into their games, like references to friends or, like, just even some asset being generated by a friend or
Right.
someone that you know or whatever. Because I feel like people talk a lot about like personal games and stuff, but in the end there's like kind of always like a personal thing in the game if you're working on it.
Right.
Ultimately, I think that that's pretty common. So it's cool to hear like the like little personal references that you threw in
Yeah.
here and there.
Well, in a game like this, where it's all about just like one-off little details,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of like you just end up being like,
have to
it's my
get it
friend's name.
somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to get somewhere, otherwise
Yeah,
it's just
totally.
Speaking of which, by the way,
Like, oh yeah.
the one piece of voice acting I have in the game is I'm the voice of the looping severe weather warning guy. Maybe you can recognize my voice.
How do you like my sweet Channel 5 logo?
I like
Yeah.
Channel 5 a
It's
lot.
real sweet.
Boone County.
Oh wait,
yes.
Kate
Tacoma
says
County.
Kate says the
Boom.
rug behind the couch was my kitchen rug in Vancouver, which I really like.
That's really good.
Oh my god.
I love it. That looks. I know the exact rug
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's like so the
Is it this
nasty
one or the
little
round
curly
one?
dirtlies on this.
Is it this one
It's
you're talking
both of
about,
them.
or the other one?
She said the one behind
okay.
the couch.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they are. I mean, they
They're-
come
they're
from.
similar,
They're cut
yeah.
from the same cloth.
Yeah.
The same Hellas garbage.
Oh, it's so good. It's all swirly.
Oh
It
yeah.
just goes to the
It's a
bed.
winter rug. It's a snowflake.
It's just
It's a
bad-
veritable snowflake.
It's a bad rope.
Kate did a really good job with this.
Kate
rug.
did
I
an
love
extremely
those.
They're
good
damn
job
fine
with
rugs.
everything.
That's absolutely true. My friend Kelly Nelson, who's a cartoonist, did these fabulous turtle stickers.
Oh.
She did a long series of turtle stickers, and I used the hell out of
Well,
them.
and real live 8-year-olds
Yes,
did the
that is
drawings
also important.
Aw.
here.
Yeah,
Um,
this is
It was
Proper.
Lee Petty, who is an artist at Double Fine and a friend of ours. He got his 8-year-old daughter Ruby to do these drawings for us and do this handwriting. Karla did this handwriting just because there's a lot of it and we
Yeah.
wanted it to be
Yeah.
oh, we had two different
legible.
time periods.
It looks
Right.
good.
This is supposed to be Sam when she was like 8 or so, and there's one from when she's like 5 years old or
Yes.
something that is actually Ruby's handwriting
Yeah.
because it looks
because it
more
was
appropriate.
perfect.
But like
yeah.
you can never a pet peeve I have
Yes.
is that no one can ever make children's drawings actually look like actual children's drawings if you're over
That's
the
true.
age of 10.
Yeah.
Every
It's
game
just
that you
hard.
see where you just look at like a kid's drawing
Right,
and it's like,
and it's like-
that's a 32-year-old art
Right.
director's drawing
Right.
of like trying to draw with their left hand.
Being
So
like, that's me, and
I
that's
know
Mike,
the-
and there's the blood. And
The
it's
like bad drawings in Pokemon Art Academy are definitely drawn by an adult.
Yeah.
You're like rivals drawings.
Right. I mean, and it's like that's It's not surprising.
Yeah.
But there's just a world of difference when you actually get an 8-year-old to draw your drawing.
It's always really surprising too, because you just, I don't know, with kids, it's like, what is even going to come out of their head?
Right.
Like, what are they going to think that you mean when you say draw this?
They haven't internalized any of the rules about how stuff is supposed to be depicted.
Yeah.
Like, they'll just be like, the body is a weird circle, and the legs are thick, but the arms are just sticks. And you're just like, alright, whatever, man.
Yeah, go for it. That's creativity.
Yeah.
It's good.
Let's see, this is a Squishmaster, am I right?
Oh my god, I love the erasers.
Squishmaster.
It's possible that I'm the worst
I actually love the erasers in this game.
It's very possible that Karla made an eraser named the Squishmaster.
Sometimes I make these garbage little tiny things, and I didn't really do a good job.
I mean, but the pencil and eraser are references to my cats.
Yes.
This one, which you can't really read from here because of the lighting, but this says Adventurous on it, which is the name of one of my cats, and then Squishmaster is a deep cut reference to my other cat because my other cat's name is Delicious, but we sometimes refer to her as just Squishes or just Squish. So Squishmaster is my cat's fault and Karla's fault.
It's more my fault.
Hey, Leon's here.
Leon's?
There's not a lot of room on the couch.
But you can come over nearby.
No, come over with a big bite of taco in your mouth, real quick. At least real quick.
Bring
just for
the
a minute.
taco.
You did this
live
thing.
taco.
You made this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it.
So come on,
Come be around nearby.
I need to.
Sorry.
That was it. That's all you get. Let's have his back.
God.
I need the rest of the tacos, is what you were just going to say.
Alright, there we
Everybody,
go.
here, lean in.
You have to lean forward, you can see the...
Hey, this is Leon.
Yay.
He was the programmer of both versions of Gone Home for console. So, round of applause for Leon. Leon actually made these ports, and Karla and I helped. So, you're looking at these sweet 60 FPS, and that's all Leon, because it's...
And you're also looking at Leon's sweet taco.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's...
Leon's heart runs at 60 frames per second. You can't live in a world where everything's not going 60 FPS.
Actually, 120, but.
That doesn't sound good at all.
We settled for 60.
Yeah, Leon has worked at many places, including id Software, that value things like 60 FPS. So, yeah, thank you, Leon, for actually making this game run on consoles at all, and smoothly and nicely. So you can walk around as if you're really in the Greenbrier house, really picking up soda cans, really meeting Dr. Jitters.
Yeah.
That's another Karla name. Karla named the Dr. Pepper
I love
analog.
Dr.
I love Dr. Jitters.
Yeah.
They're extremely good.
Yeah.
Something that someone pointed out one time, or I mean shortly after release, is that each flavor of soda actually has different ingredients.
Yes. I tried to.
Because Karla does her job.
Wow. Very good. Wow.
What else we got?
Okay, I have another question.
Cues.
This was actually from a while ago, but I missed it. It was, are there any, well, this might come out as we go along, but someone was asking about secrets and Easter eggs that have yet to be found.
I wouldn't say so.
But I guess as you're playing, you'll probably point.
I mean, we'll probably show some. I guess if anything, I mean, Easter eggs like the whole like, hey, this person that we know did this handwriting
that doesn't really count.
is one thing, but like actually Easter eggs, I don't think so. Here's a very deep cut Deus Ex reference because we're nerds and love it. Orange soda. Also in lemon lime, which is the most obscure reference to Gunther Herman's line from Deus Ex 1. But
that's a good line.
We needed to have it.
That's a good line. Also, secretly, Dr. Jitters is named after the that one enemy in Resident Evil. Is it 4? The twitchy
regenerator?
One? Yeah, because I used to call him Jitters.
Okay, good.
And so,
I'm glad he's named after a Resident Evil 4 nickname.
Secretly,
I have a bird on my porch named Mr. Jitters.
That's
Can
pretty
you
good.
say that again?
I had a bird on my porch named Mr. Jitters.
That's good.
Hooray!
Why did you call him that?
Because he was really loud and made a lot of jittering
Should have named him
noises.
I get it.
He wasn't a doctor though.
Well, maybe someday.
Or maybe in the bird world.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how birds get their doctorate, so I'm not going to say
That's a real good question.
So yeah, this is the sad closet with all of
Yes.
Dad's remaindered books that nobody bought. This is what we call environmental storytelling.
Oh.
That's all we make is sad areas of various sorts.
Yeah.
Closet, sad room,
Yeah.
sad house.
This is my sad chair that
Yeah.
I sit in to
To
feel
be sad.
sad. Yeah. So I just noticed lightning go off and thunder. Something that sometimes people have asked or assumed is that the thunder and lightning in the game is scripted or sometimes scripted to
freak
line
out.
up. Yeah, to line up with like you open the basement door, you open this note, or you found this secret thing or whatever. And the thing that makes me happy is the lightning and thunder in the game is actually 100% randomized. It's on a random timer between, I think like between every 3 and 6 minutes there's a chance for lightning and thunder to happen. But the cool thing is people
No, you're doing enough things.
people
and-
see it like at some point, sometime that random thing is
Right.
going to line up with you
Something,
opening the spooky
yeah.
door, and people are like, oh, they got me.
Yeah.
But it's really satisfying to know that
Yeah.
people just like make that association when it comes up, as opposed to us actually pulling a prank on every player that plays the game.
We can rely on everybody's opinion. Their willingness to find patterns and things. It's cool. The attic. Dot.
Don't think about the attic.
Don't play the video game.
Don't go to the attic. Well, I think I won't. That was actually an
Yeah.
interesting development
Reverse
point.
psychology.
Yeah, well, so one of the assets in Gone Home that had the most revisions, and it's not surprising, kind of makes sense, is the note on the front door of the house, because that's basically like the intro to the game. Katie's answering machine message is like a fictional intro, but this is basically like giving you your quest effectively. It's
Yeah.
like, here's what you should do in the game. And it went through a lot of revisions where it was like, how do we write different ways to say like, try and find out what happened to Sam, explore the house and see what's here. And all of it was just too clunky, because it was like, tell the player they should go look at everything, and it was real late, but I had that final realization of like the Brer Rabbit story of just like, oh, tell the player not to go look around. Say, please don't explore this cool house. I would hate it if you did that. And it works. What else we got?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about when you say that,
yeah,
it
no,
reminds
you nailed
me
it.
that I, like, when I read that note, I didn't even think, like, for some reason it didn't even register for me that I shouldn't look at anything, and it's funny how, like, when you read like a note like that, you're just like, yep, the assumption is now I'm just gonna go look at all this stuff, and it didn't even register that might not be, like, what I would do if, I don't know. Yeah, that's a funny effect that has.
Yeah, I mean, it took us a while to get there.
Yeah.
Do you guys like this comb?
I like that comb.
I think I have that comb.
Nice.
I wish that
This
meant
is another
that
heap
you.
of garbage that I made. So it's,
I wish that meant that you
yeah.
3D printed that comb.
That would be excellent. I just think I have a comb that has that pattern on it.
Yeah,
That's my favorite Blops weapon camo.
The tortoise shell, like good shit.
And Mace was asking in chat, they said they really liked the voice acting and were wondering how you found Sam and Katie's voice
Oh, yeah.
actresses.
Well, Katie's voice actress is somebody that we knew, Sarah Amala. She's done voice acting in a lot of games now.
Kinds of things, yeah.
She was, she's been a voice in a number of games since then. But Katie she only has one line in the game, which is the intro audio, the answering machine message. So obviously extremely important. But most of the audio, or most of the voice in the game, I'll just grab an audio diary now for reference. Is your younger sister Sam, who is played by Sarah Grayson, who is a local voice actor here in Portland. As far as how we found her, Gone Home is a very... It's local, it's artisanal.
It's also very luck-based.
It's very luck-based. We had a lot of good saving rolls.
We had a lot of points in luck for this production.
But we were just walking around a building down, like, in the city that has, like, art galleries and small office space in it and stuff, and it's open to the public.
It's one of those, like, converted, old whatever, like mills or some sort of big warehousing thing
I
that's
think
been
it's
broken up into.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an old
Anyway.
building that they've turned into like creative
Yeah.
space and stuff, and they have like art in the halls that you can walk around and look at art exhibits and stuff. And we were just walking around, and we were thinking we needed a voice actor for the main character, and B, we wanted to work with someone local because when we were working on Minerva's Den, we recast the main character who played Porter late in production, and we needed to make sure it was good. And we found Carl Lumley, and we thought he was fantastic, but I'd written the script, and Karla and I had worked on it together and everything, and so 2K was gracious enough to fly me down to LA for a day to direct the voice recording session with Carl in person, and I just learned a lot about actually being able to make eye contact with somebody while they're doing the line and see if they get it or they can see your face, or you're kind of well, I'm kind of thinking more whatever. So
I was on the phone for that session, and it was it just a lot was missing. Actually look at the person.
It was really good because his name is Carl, and Karla was on the phone, and so I'd be like, Karla, and Karla would be like, oh yes. I'd be like, oh no, Karla. You're like, oh sorry. So anyway, we wanted to make sure that we could do the voice recording in person, which for us meant we needed somebody here in Portland. So we were walking around this building, and we just walked past a door in this office building that said, in both ears, audio casting and talent, and we were like, I bet they have local people. And so we just got auditions from them, and Sarah's audition was just the one that clicked with us, and she came down to the recording studio. We recorded it in 2 sessions with one final pickup session, and she's just fantastic. So Sarah Grayson, look her up, use her in your video game, hire her if you think the voice acting in Gone Home is any good. Sarah Grayson is the heart and soul of the human side of this game entirely. So I'll pick up a couple of things, speaking of which.
Speaking of the cat.
Adventurous the Cat returns. Adventurous gets another shout out here. So we wanted to imply that there used to be a Super Nintendo here, which Sam was practicing Street Fighter 2 on, and she took it with her, and there's some parts left over, and so we got artists that we're friends with or know in the industry to do unique cover streams. So Adventurous the Cat Returns was done by Lee Petty at Double Fine. He's a concept artist. He was a concept artist on Brutal Legend, and he's the lead of Headlander, which they're currently working on.
It's very good. Detachable head.
It's very good.
So the
slick back hair is so
good. So our direction for this was just we just want a shitty third tier mascot platformer from the 90s of a cat that's extreme. And so he's on a motorbike, and he's doing the 2 because it's the second game, which I think is
Returns.
a Bubsy 2 kind of thing, or Sonic 2 kind of thing, or whatever. But there's an explosion behind him that's reflected in his sunglasses as we're looking towards you, which
seems
is
to be
important.
driving into
I would
it.
say it's
basically
towards an
going
explosion.
There's a lot of different good
It's
things
pretty
happening.
good. But presumably these are the carts that Sam was like, we are not going to be able to get any money for these.
Yeah,
They get to stay.
I don't need to take these.
Or I don't want to play them again. I don't know.
They're just
It's
not
good.
the best ones.
She wants to play them forever.
That's very good.
I love this one a
very,
lot.
very
Super
good.
Spitfire
This one's wicked
was
good.
done by Rachel Morris, who's a New York artist who had done a bunch of art for the NYU Game Center. She did a bunch of the Game Center event posters and stuff. And she's just a fantastic artist.
She's super good.
We wanted. So this is another reference to Minerva's Den. In Minerva's Den, there's a little mini game that you can find that's theoretically the first video game ever that was created in Rapture, and it's a little game about basically flying an X around the screen and shooting at O's that are flying around. So it's like an asteroids kind of thing, but even more simplistic. And so the long form pitch of this is that we wanted Super Spitfire, which is a sequel, a Super Nintendo sequel to Spitfire, and for the license to have been bought by a Japanese company, which is why we wanted Rachel to do it, because she does kind of anime styled art. And CMP Interactive is Charles Milton Porter Interactive, because the company licensed the property to a Japanese studio that actually made the game, and then they released it. So deep cuts.
Whose logo is that I ripped off for the CMP? Like, somebody has that, like, or it's similar to that.
That is the 80s/90s reflective metallic.
Yeah, there's
right, but like, there's some specific thing that I was like, perfect.
It's sort of like Acclaim, maybe kind of.
Or is it like VHX or something? That sound company that always shows up before them.
THX.
THX, yeah, they kind of have a metallic logo like that.
I can't remember now. Anyway.
And then similarly, we wanted a Super Nintendo JR, like Japanese RPG. And so this was done by Gen Z, who does the art at Supergiant. She was the artist on Bastion. And
I was just gonna say that looks like Transistor to me.
This was between Bastion and Transistor. And we knew that her style would be perfect for a fake, non-existent Japanese RPG from the time.
It's ideal.
I made up the names. I made up Journey of
Which is pretty good.
Journey of Crystal.
It's like it kind of looks like you have a choice of characters in this one. It looks like you either have Lady Sword User or like Dude Brawler or something.
That guy's a hawk trainer.
Oh, is he a hawk? Oh, that's right. He does have a bird.
Oh, yeah, that's
For some reason, when I just looked at it this time, I thought it was a glove. But yeah, you're right.
And then there's a horse mage back there. A horse ranger is green. Is a ranger.
Maybe this is just your party. Maybe that's just how it is. Anyway.
So yeah. This is another piece by Alex Enwald.
Yeah.
We
fine.
We made Sonic. How do we do this? I think that here's what it was. So when I was a teenager, when I visited Oregon, they used to have an outdoor music festival put on by 94.7 here called The Big Stink, and it was just an summer outdoor Blink-182 and whoever else came and played a big festival thing. So we want her to have gone to one of those. So I think at that point we made up. We'll call it. It'll be Sonic Boom. Will be the name of the event, and that's why we chose the call sign KSNC, because we figured,
K-Sonic.
And then we just picked a bunch of 90s bands.
Yes, and some of them are based, because of this concept of like the collection of artists, when I was young in Massachusetts, we had the thing called the FNX Best Music Poll, and they had, which you may remember, but maybe not, maybe you're too young, but yeah, they had, every once in a while they would have like a concert that was just like a bunch of, they would just get a bunch of artists, and it was usually indoors weirdly, but that was when I saw the Boston's first at one of those, when I was and Social Distortion when I was a child, and it was
the Dandy Warhols are from Portland, so that makes sense.
Yes.
Offspring or 90s. Lisa Loeb was just
90s.
Whoops, she happened to come to this.
She showed up. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, this is Alex, and this really reminds me of like 90s Daniel Klaus art stylistically.
Yeah.
This just seems like the pitch was like the artist should be trying to rip off 90s Dan Klaus, which is good.
Absolutely.
It's anyway.
Yep.
Games are real.
Lisa Frank.
Oh yeah. Well, first
and
this beauty that is
Kate just straight up made
I love
this,
it.
and
so
she's
good.
a badass.
I love it so much.
Do you like sports?
I don't know.
It's real.
That is such a good question, honestly. And the rubber bands. Well used. Needs the rubber bands.
Well, this is it. So like a lot of this whole So this whole closet is a lot about Sam's kind of upbringing and socialization versus
it's kind of her history in some ways, like it's her
So spoilers, I mentioned this. Gone Home is a teen lesbian love story. So Sam is queer, and that's a lot of what this game is about. And so in this closet, there's sort of like, okay, here's her good binder from when she was in like 4th grade.
Accurate.
So it's sort of like, okay, that was something from when she was in elementary school. And then there's this Bible. You find other Bibles in the house, but Sam's Bible, she's kind of jammed in the back of the closet. Like it's not exactly something that she's engaged with any longer. And then this whole Kate, also a lady who's married to a lady, IRL, and we just asked for a board game that Sam might have played when she was younger, and Kate basically just came back with the most like heteronormative, like overly gendered girly girl thing, and it's fantastic, and it just really reinforces sort of like, here's something that Sam hasn't really pulled out for a while. And then there's a story in here that's about the two characters in her fiction she's been making up that are two female characters that have this relationship, etc., etc. So anyway, you were saying?
No, I was just going to point out Dan Ward's tiny call out on the name of the board game company,
Laddington
which is
Ward?
elsewhere. Also, it's Ladd Edition and Dan Ward.
Oh, okay.
But like, so anyway, I had to name it something. But yeah, the others, I think the Ghost game also has.
The Ghost game
that.
is Famous Games.
Is it? Okay, well,
that's a
maybe.
Van Oven
Which is the other one? It might be Over the Alps.
Oh, Over the
Has
Alps.
a different one.
Yeah.
That might have an older version of Laddington Ward logo. Anyway,
Yeah.
logos and cats on a motorcycle.
Yes. So
Including the goofy Pluto dichotomy of like anthropomorphic cat, non-anthropomorphic cat.
Right. Yeah.
It's cool.
Basically, our process for writing these notes was basically like I wrote the text for all of the notes, like typed it out or whatever, and I was just play acting the character of the two girls having a back and forth. So I'd write one and then be like, how would Lonnie respond to this, etc. And then Karla and I would just go through and actually handwrite them. Karla played Sam's handwriting, and I played Lonnie's handwriting. So all of these notes between the two of them are just... It's the shortest art pipeline in any video game ever. Karla and I
us
just
in a
sat down
basement,
with
yeah.
Sharpies and just wrote it on a piece of paper, and
Yeah.
then Karla scanned it, and now it's in the game. But to that end, part of Lonnie's character sheet is that she draws, and she's like an okay artist for a teenager. I also used to draw a lot up through my teenage years, and then just kind of stopped. So I basically have stalled out at the level of teenager who's okay at drawing, level of drawing.
Right.
So I did all of Lonnie's drawings in the game. So I drew these cats on a motorcycle.
Wonderful.
I drew the motorcycle without any reference because
Yeah.
Lonnie would not have been using reference.
She totally knows about motorcycles though.
Yeah, but it does
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
looking
fine.
at motorcycles
Alright.
recently for like
Alright.
the other flyer we did or whatever.
That's
But yeah, so I wrote out the text without thinking about what the drawing was going to be, and then basically I pitched myself on drawing two cats on a motorcycle. So I was like, all right, it's one cat driving the motorcycle and then a normal cat on the back of the
Makes sense.
motorcycle. And my favorite thing about it is if you zoom in on these two cats, they both have the exact same face.
Just scale
Well,
up.
it's like a person on a motorcycle with like a naked baby hanging out.
I mean, kind of is.
Yeah.
You have to channel Teen Steve.
Pretty
Teen
much.
Steve channeled within Gone Home.
I mean, the other good
yeah.
good thing
Yeah.
is that Sam did some of this drawing. Like in the
Right.
fiction, Sam says your drawing of cats was so good that I added a background to make it even better. Maybe I should stick to writing though. And so my wife Rachel is not someone who's ever done any drawing, and Sam is also not supposed to be someone
Yeah.
who draws normally. So
So
Rachel,
she is-
my wife, did all of
done illustrates
Sam's
for
drawings.
Sam.
Because basically if Karla did Sam's handwriting, but if she had done Sam's drawings, the drawings would have been too good, basically. It would have been that whole you can't
Yeah.
fake an 8-year-old's drawings
Yeah.
situation. Rachel drew this awesome UFO and everything
good.
else.
Verifying taxes.
And yeah, 90s. That's the nice thing about setting something at a time when you remember, because you're like, oh, I was actually a teenager or preteen or whatever during this time, and so I just remembered. I'm looking at Mr. Fish right now. I feel like he would probably have lots of cats. Also, like his secret shame is he watches 90210 religiously. I'll ask him about it after class. There's a break, and then he said he doesn't have cats, and also that he's never watched 90210. But I could see in his eyes he was lying. But that's just the kind of dumb detail where I just remembered, watching 90210 being embarrassing, basically, at that time. So anyway, just kind of role playing.
There was someone, there
Writing
was
is
a
acting.
numbers plus in chat that was asking about why you guys chose the specific year, and I am wondering if the choice of the era had to do with just having a lot of context going into it about stuff that was going on during that time, or
That's some of it.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely part of it.
Yeah, the two sides of it are we didn't want digital communication. We didn't want emails and text messages. We wanted everything to be analog. We wanted you to find, because now pretty sure teens mostly just have their smartphone under their desk and just Snapchat at each other. Is that now during class?
People use Instagram.
All right.
I guess they use Snapchat too.
But all I mean is we wanted mom's friend to send her a physical letter,
Yeah.
not to post on her Facebook wall, etc. Right? But yeah, we also wanted to rewind time as little as we could, so we would still be recreating an era we had actually lived in, and the process could just be like, what do I remember about a teen bedroom from that era, etc. So they kind of work together. You know, it was kind of like, oh yeah, I remember I was in 7th grade when Kurt Cobain died, and like the rock magazines were all this, you know, that kind of stuff. So it was practical, but then only to the point where we could say like, we're not trying to recreate the 60s or the 20s or something that we didn't live through.
Well,
I mean, you can do your research, but you can feel that this stuff is right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm watching, I don't know, it's a whole thing after Mad Men. There's a lot of stuff set in the 50s and early 60s now, which is great.
Yeah.
But they also, a lot of times, feel like they all kind of have the same production design, because there's only so much research you can do and so much stuff you can refer back to.
And like a lot of times you refer to the things that are more recent too, so a lot of them are probably based on Mad Men. So it's like,
I mean,
starts getting further and further away.
You inherit other people's research, and so forth. Tynan, what do you think about video games?
I like them all.
All of them. Tynan likes all of them.
Looking at that X-Files poster, someone on Twitter was asking me the other day about like legal rights and stuff. So maybe people would be curious about that.
Yeah.
Guess what? We recreated that.
Yes,
we faked it. That is not the original.
No, yeah. This is, let's see, this was a Creative Commons photo of a supposed UFO sighting, like, in China?
Yeah, I remember.
And we just took that as a source image and cut it up and recolored it and redid the text and did something that looks like the X-Files poster, but if you actually pull up X-Files poster on Google image search, it's not one-to-one.
And they never trademarked that whole like presentation of that.
I mean, you can't really. You can have, you know, a logo. You can have like the X-Files logo, right? But like a UFO over
the phrase. They can trademark the phrase with a certain image.
That's true. But the other part of it is like
they didn't.
Like, would you be confused? Would you go into this and be like, is the X-Files endorsing this?
That's part of it. You know, it's sort of like.
As you can see, it's different.
Yeah. There's this part of it is like, is it something that people would think was like.
Would some person mistake this?
Yeah, would someone think this was an X-Files game? Yeah. You know, if we had called this, if we had called the game Gone Home, I Want to Believe, and had this be the cover art, I think it would be a much different situation, right? I mean, because that's the same thing.
Really good title.
Well, and that was the actual subtitle of the first X-Files movie, I'm pretty sure. And then Fear the Future was the name of the second one. But it's the same thing with like Chun-Li. The same thing with mentioning Super Nintendo. It's the same thing with using these Creative Commons photos of all these famous people. Yeah. Like, they are pieces of the work, but they're not like on the box. You know, Nintendo was never like, or Capcom, you know, was never like, you can't use our character names because. It's like when you read a book and someone mentions drinking a Coke. You know what I mean? So you have to walk the line. You can't use other people's art that they made. You can't, et cetera, et cetera. But
I mean,
you can refer to things.
You can get a long way just like even suggesting sort of imagery related to something, or just like getting the tone of something across. Like,
well, and like this, we wanted to have this set in Reed College specifically. Yeah. Because Reed College is in Portland.
It's perfect tonally.
It seemed like the kind of place that would have like a summer writing program that Sam would be interested in, etc. Which means that if this is a brochure from Reed College, it would have their logo and everything on it. That's why that sticky note is there.
It'd be Red College.
Yeah, really.
Well, no, it straight up says it in here. Yeah, you just can't use their art
not the logo.
for their logo, right?
Because you can refer letters.
You can say X-Files, but we couldn't put the copyrighted X-Files logo in the game. We can say Chun-Li, but not put the Street Fighter 2 logo just straight up in the game. So somebody made that.
Presumably Sam also got a bootleg poster, which is kind of cute.
You have a barfing burger down there.
I mean...
I know. It's wonderful. It's a barfing burger.
Why squeeze it this way.
Yeah.
Okay. Just your face. Just say barfing burger.
No, I don't want
to do it. I don't want to do it. You can say it to that camera.
What was that, Tynan?
Stop it. I actually do have a question for you guys.
Oh, really?
It's not about barfing burger.
Okay, it doesn't have to be.
So how old were each of you? I'm just gonna burn this one down in '94. I mean, were you pulling from like teenage?
Sam is a little bit older than me and a little bit younger than Karla.
No, I think she's
She's basically like the same age as you.
Fuck. Yes, I think she's right about my age. I can't quite remember what.
I graduated high school in the year 2000.
You're
so
5.
She's a little older.
You're 5 years younger than me. I think she's just about my age.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Sam was the or Lonnie, I guess mostly, was the cool elder teen to me. She was the cool teen that I looked up to as a middle schooler or whatever. Saw in the mall and was like, she's scary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the barfing burger is because this is Pulp Fiction. And also something about cheeseburgers is important, Lonnie says about Pulp Fiction. And Sam says, I've heard it's pretty violent. Am I going to barf? So, then the burger is barfing.
And there it is.
It's creativity. It's creativity on display.
I mean, barfing is creativity, technically.
It's sort of transfer things. We want to get really specific.
Alright.
First game I know of that that I'm aware of that had fully interactive examinable tampons in a video game. There are tampons on your Xbox now.
Sorry, everyone. I mean, not sorry at all.
Your PlayStation is filled with tampons.
I'm not sorry at all.
IRL.
Look at that fucking sweet nail file. Also.
Oh yeah.
It's also very good.
Look at
that.
Yeah, that is good.
I feel like it's glow in the dark.
That's from Claire's. That's straight up Claire's.
You're right.
Yeah.
That is absolutely Claire's.
Soma beat us to having an interactive box of tampons on PS4. Because they launched on PS4 and they had one, and I felt like they just ate our lunch on that one. So speaking of glow in the dark stars,
those are amazing.
So
Who didn't do that?
Well, but check this out.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I scripted some shit. Get ready.
Gameplay.
So when you turn the lights on and then turn them off, now they're glowing.
Oh, that's cool.
But
Good work.
But they aren't when you start the game. You have to turn the lights on and leave them on for, I think,
Wasn't it like a minute or 30 seconds or something? Yeah.
And then when you turn them back off, they will be lit up.
That's really nice.
Their light.
Games. I don't think that they will ever turn back off after that point because I was fine with people just like being happy with it moving on.
I really
remember this basketball hoop.
Yes.
Don't forget about the dunk.
I like all the stickers on furniture and stuff. That's one thing I noticed because I always thought it was just me, but when I was a kid, like even if you go look at my old room, my old room is still covered in stickers and things that I tape to the walls that for some reason my mom and my brother never have taken down.
All right, I'm gonna help you guys out with this on the stream.
Put your face on it.
Yeah, I can't get close. I've done this Magic Eye so many times. I don't need to. These Magic Eyes work. And if you see what's in them, you get an achievement.
That's not true.
No, it's not at all. How would
Why are we lying?
Simon's a skeptic.
I know.
I mean, correctly so.
Yeah. This is.
This is art we can take.
Right. This poster is art that's more than 150 years old, so it's public domain. And this is just based on when I was growing up. My now wife in her teenage bedroom had like a kind of Raphaelite painting. There's a certain strand of, I think, artsy teen girls that's just like a good time for you to get into pre-Raphaelite art.
I could see that.
And this just felt right for Sam's level of kind of like what she would want to have in her room.
On top of that flowery wallpaper.
Yeah, there's a lot of floral in this room.
It's very good.
A lot of floral in this room.
I like it. I always wanted wallpaper as a kid, but I never had any, so I just taped things to the walls instead.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Kate made this wallpaper.
It's very fun.
Very good, Kate.
Kate, if you have any insight into this wallpaper, please share it with chat. More deep cuts, super deep cuts. So Sam's high school is Goodfellow High School. Multiple deep cuts. One is called that because Porter's name in an early draft of Minerva's Den was Goodfellow. That never shipped.
Yes.
So no one would have any way of ever knowing that.
And I fought it because I was like, we can't call him Goodfellow.
Yeah.
It's like, he's a good fellow, is he? Okay, cool.
That's like Star Wars naming convention.
Yeah, kind of, Anyway.
And so then we wanted the Goodfellow high school mascot to be an owl because the owl is is like the motif all throughout Minerva's Den. So the Goodfellow fighting owls.
Yeah.
And
that's my friend Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly did a really, really good impression of basically the like Notre Dame fighting Irish guy, except as a cool owl.
Yeah, because that was the only fighting icon I could think of because I'm from Massachusetts.
Right. I was in a thrift store in Portland.
Fighting there.
Yeah.
Lots of Irish there.
That's both of these things are right.
I was in a thrift store here in Portland, and I basically saw. I took a cell phone photo of a lineup of books just like this that were at that store, because I was just like, this is like the perfect like teen reader collection. And Sam's like a writer and a reader kid, and she would totally have read, The Metamorphosis and Emma and.
Well, it's one of those things that like Dad was like, "This is perfect for Sam. I'll pick it up for her."
Yeah.
I'll get the mouse edition of everything.
Right, and so then Carla recreated it, and of course, because she's Carla, she put a tiny rat on the end of each one.
Everyone.
Very good.
Nailed it.
It's like gotta have a logo for something.
You gotta put a rat on something.
I mean, yes, possibly everything.
What else we got from chat?
Let's see. This people in chat. I think Kate was kind of answering this as well in
Look how
chat
pretty
earlier.
Isn't it nice that those could be in there?
Wow.
You were saying?
Yummy noises.
Kate had kind of answered this, but I thought maybe you guys would
I
want
love
to
tasty
add.
noms, yes.
Which was the crumpled paper. Wild Fun was asking if the crumpled paper was like manually done, or if you had scanned it in that way, or like how you got that
Which
effect.
crumpled paper?
Like on some
one
of the
of
notes. Yeah.
Yeah, we crumpled it for real and scanned it.
That was only true sometimes,
What? No,
I think,
what do you
wasn't it?
I mean,
you had to you at least had to manually cut out around the edges sometimes, to
I see.
match the
Right.
crumpliness.
Sometimes we only crumpled the paper a couple times, and I scanned a lot of different kinds of crumpled paper. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. This crumpled ball in here.
That is probably based on a more generic crumple that I did once. I think I did maybe 3 different crumple situations, and then also the laundry one, which was different. But
I think it kind of evolved over the course of the game.
That's probably
because
true.
early. So this is an early one.
Evolving crumple tech.
I mean,
it's true.
This is an early one, and I kind of complained at some point because if you look, no one's gonna look this closely, and it's fine.
I mean,
but
everyone's gonna look at this closely. That's the whole point of this
but
video.
not as closely as I'm about to say.
All right.
So
but you can tell
the
that,
way,
you can see that I superimposed the contents of this, the actual image on top of the crumple.
Right.
And, part of that is cool because it's harder to read if it's crumpled and, all the lines are kind of wiggly because of the crumpled paper. But part of it is also just not correct.
Right.
So,
because there's a lot of straight lines on here and you just see that they're straight. So this was an early rev where Carla actually crumpled the paper and scanned it and then, cut out the edges to make it look crumpled. But the, information was just superimposed on it. At some point, later in development, the process became do the content, print it on a piece of paper, crumple that, scan it back in. So
cut out things.
Yeah, so we'll see stuff in kind of the second half of the game that it's actually a scan of a crumply piece of paper with stuff on it instead of blah, blah, blah.
The one that is the note where the shitty little schoolmate that Sam knows that's is your whole family crazy or is it just your uncle, or whatever. That one, that was all written on there and torn and crumpled. That's authentic as it can possibly get. And also cutting out alpha layers on the squiggly little notebook edges with the little fringe on the edge of a notebook paper. It sucks. Okay. Anyway.
I would like to shout out to the all of the use of coasters.
Oh.
When I played this, one of the first thing I noticed was there's coasters all over this house, which I love because I love coasters and I have a million.
They're
so thank you.
Coasters because they're botanical.
Right.
Yeah, they're really good.
Their mom's
Will you drive just a little bit? I'm going to tweet another link to this because we've been live for a little while. I want to make sure people get in.
Look at this bed. Look at this parents' bed. This is
God.
look at this.
Look at all the wicker.
It's
Really
very
good.
beautiful and hideous.
That's really
good.
good.
This wicker right here. This is pro.
This is my mom's entire aesthetic. You nailed my mom's aesthetic so hard.
Dylan, could you get up and could you take a picture of us on the couch on my phone?
I could imagine the sound of that furniture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A
take a
big
photo.
wicker like that.
Just stand in front of
just
the camera. It's fine.
makes a
it's
certain
all
sound.
I'm weirdly proud of this.
Yeah.
Taking a photo.
Yeah. Is it just something?
Camera.
Just tap anywhere.
Yeah.
You love it.
We're double
I'll
doing
give
it,
one
you
more,
guys.
just in case. Oh, good, it autofocused. Sweet.
Yay.
Anyway,
Kaz.
Yeah, Kaz. I got to put a William S. Burroughs quote on a business card, and I'm real psyched about it. It's good. It's perfect for him. Good old cats.
I have a small question.
Yeah.
It's always stood out to me that it's one Arbor Hill, implying that it's the only house on the street.
On the hill, yeah.
Oh, it's not. I mean, it's not the only house on the street. There's just.
It's just the first.
A side street that goes up the hill to their driveway.
Got it. Okay.
Because it was built in the 19th century.
Okay.
So this is one of those other cases where we found this image, Creative Commons online, the actual drawing of the cat with the baby cat, presumably in a basket. But then we wrote Mitten on it with a Sharpie.
Oh,
and this was
no. I did this in Photoshop, but I should have been a Sharpie, but yeah.
But this was one of those things where I thought back to when I was a little kid, and I remembered things like I would write like a capital E and just put like 10 crossbars on it, or like
because you don't know.
Yeah, or well, I think it's because you're sort of like you're testing what the rules are, and you're like, well, there's 3 of them. There might as well just be a million of them. Or like in this, the idea was there's a lowercase I and there's a dot above an I. What if the dot was just real big? Because that seems like something that a 5-year-old would do.
So I did this like left-handed with like the thing in my fist, and Steve was like, make the I dot real big. I was like, great. And, like, it was fine. And then we have the mom note or the teacher note in the top right where they're like, all right, let's just make this clear. Those are classic. Those are definitely. Oh, hamper.
There's a question from the chat that I'm also curious about, which was, when did you guys decide to include a putback area for grabbables?
Well, that's kind of a weird, it's kind of a funny, story where, like, so when we were starting the game, I wrote design specs for like here's what systems we should have, and here's the systems that how they should work basically. And so one of the first things that I put in was like, you need to be able to pick up objects and rotate them to examine them, and etc. And so then we went into the game, and we were developing it, and we went through this whole thing of like, okay, you can pick up an object and you can examine it, and then when you try to what should happen when you release it. And we were like, well, we'll put like a physics box on the bottom of it, so it's like most likely that it'll land standing up, and we'll make the force not too hard so that like you can kind of try to put it back. But we sent out a playtest early, and it was still like you would try to put stuff down carefully, but it would still like flop over, and you just felt like a weird physics guy. Yeah, you were just kind of like. Boom. But what you wanted to do, your intent as a player was like, I picked up this nice trophy and I just want to put it.
Yeah.
And so then we talked about like, okay, maybe it should be a really complex system of like, there's like a representation of where the thing you're holding is going to go back when you release it, and you can put it intentionally and place it at any angle and all this stuff. And it was like, well, this isn't really the like carefully arrange things and place them very precisely game either. People just want to be able to be careful and like.
It's definitely not.
Or that. Like generally speaking, people in the playtest were like, I wanted to respect the house and be able to pick up something, look at it, and then just nicely put it back and not throw it on the ground or knock it over or whatever. And so then we were finally like, well, what if you could just aim it where you got it from, and the default thing to happen would be to put it back in that spot. So you can sort of be like, okay, I'm putting things back how they were. And so we did that. We made that whole system. And then after we did that, I looked back at the original design spec that I had written, and the spec was actually like, system to pick up and examine a 3D object and then carefully put it back where you got it from. And I was like, God damn it. Why didn't we just do this in the first place?
Yeah.
Are you going to look at something gross, Karla?
What if I looked at it?
Why does it say ugh when you aim at it? Is it because it's called After the Honeymoon, Rediscovering Your Spouse Personally, Spiritually, and Sexually?
Like that. Yeah.
By Reverend Alexander Michaels?
You go buy that book in the store.
Oh, you can buy many.
I think I also recognize these people.
Oh, you do?
You
You do?
Yeah,
How weird.
Why would you recognize them?
Oh, I don't know. I can't imagine.
Could you tell me about these people?
So I jumped on this grenade for the team, and these are my horrible parents. It's so much grosser now. Like, it's
so much grosser
it's
to
like
her.
it's like 1,000% grosser for me. But like now that everyone else knows, they're all like, oh.
These are deep lore secrets. It's good.
It's much worse.
By the way, Karla, in chat, you got Match Sucks says hi, Karla, and Ruben says hi.
Oh, hey, tell them hi. That's good. Actually, I mean, they can hear fine now, and it's normal.
I really am glad you used a picture of your parents for that book cover. It is a good picture. And it definitely wants to be on the cover of that book.
That's in, like, an Audubon park somewhere in
Really?
Massachusetts. Yeah.
Oh, man, I miss going to the Audubon.
I know, right?
Yeah. Those are good times.
When I wrote these, I gave them to my wife's mom, or we gave them to my wife's mom to do the handwriting of. And this character is Sam's mom's college roommate, and they live apart now, so they write each other letters because they keep up with it. And so the text is stuff like, "Oh, honey, let me tell you, I understand how you feel," etc., etc.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey.
And in the meantime, write some letters to your old friend Carol. She adores them, etc. And so I gave the text to my wife's mom and was like, "Can you rewrite these?" And I remember she was like, "Who wrote these? This sounds just like a letter I'd send to my friend." And I was like, "Okay, good. I did. Yes, I nailed it. Achieved." So yeah, deep cuts. So Sean Vanneman is
he's a
great guy, very cool. He's the writer and one of the directors of Firewatch, which is coming out in less than a month to PC and PlayStation 4 consoles. And while we were making Gone Home, like a troll, he started a meme of everyone tweeting at me all the time about how Gone Home is a ghost game and where's the ghost. So we put a ghost game in the game, which is Escape from Ghost Mansion by I can't see it very closely. Oh, it's probably on the backside too.
Oh,
yes.
there it is.
By Famous Games, because Famous is Sean's dumb nickname on the Idle Thumbs podcast. And avoid the ghost of Ghost Mansion and make your escape with your wits intact.
Yeah, I just made this up.
Yeah.
I don't know. So there's a sanity mechanic, like, in this.
Right.
Like, there's some sort of, like, sanity slider that you have to, like, it's, you know.
And then the cool thing, speaking of our 3D artist, Kate at some point found cool old-timey photos from her family, like in a family album from like the 19th, early 20th century. So these are actually some of Kate's actual ancestors that she sent us photos of.
It's pretty sweet.
Cool. Oh look, a ghost game. So yeah, look forward to finding the ghost in Firewatch by Campo Santo. If you can tweet at Vanneman and say "no ghost, no buy" to him,
like repeatedly
about Firewatch, that would be great. Speaking of which, one asset that we updated since the game came out, we had kind of shipped a temp asset for this very hidden matchbook.
But Kate fixed it up.
And so people that are looking forward to Firewatch may kind of get a vibe of a little bit of a homage to our friends at Campo Santo when they look at this updated
I love that.
matchbook for the Overlook
That's
restaurant.
so cute.
Rick, 8 o'clock Friday. We kept that handwriting. This is the asset from the original game.
Yeah.
This is
right.
Yeah. We accidentally shipped like a pencil sketch in the original game.
It was not the best.
It was fine. Here's some environmental storytelling. Watercolor technique for florals and still lifes. I wonder who could be reading this book and why.
Gosh.
Golly. Oh.
You didn't even look at their VHS tapes in the
son of. Oh yeah, I meant to look at the VHS tapes.
Wait, actually, I have a question about where you were just now before you go on too far, which is I noticed the walk-in closets are really, really big.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that just stuck out to me because
I'm a great level designer.
Oh. I was just gonna say, say,
It's just me being good at my job.
It just gave me flashbacks to like, what was that awful MTV show where they would go into celebrities' houses?
Cribs?
Yeah, Cribs! When I
Cribs.
saw that, when I saw the big closets, I was like, it's like an episode of Cribs.
A very rich person's life.
Greenbrier family cribs.
Yeah.
Probably needs
That's
to
what
be
this stream is.
Yeah, that's basically what we're looking at right now.
Yes, we have.
Here's where the magic happens.
Ugh.
Yeah,
I don't like
it's
this at
weird.
all.
So these are a couple of dad's tapes that you can tell by
'cause-
both the handwriting
Yeah.
and which
And the content. Yeah.
movies they are. And here's a couple of mom's tapes.
Yes.
The Sound of Music.
What is it?
Swiss
Yeah.
Family Robinson.
Oh, and also a Jeopardy.
Right.
With Uncle Harvey on it.
So yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Good.
there's a. I'll run back there while we talk real
Yeah,
quick
sure.
because
May as well.
why not?
Yeah, I was thinking about that as
Speaking of people that we needed handwriting, or speaking of needing a lot of handwriting, I'm lucky enough to be acquainted with Harvey Smith. Leon worked with him at Arcane.
I can't see him.
On the Dishonored games, Harvey was the lead designer of Deus Ex 1 and one of the co-creative director of Dishonored. And yeah, we need a lot of handwriting, and I know Harvey from like conferences and stuff. And so we were like, we want this birthday. Like, the way that writing this game works is you try and come up with things the player needs to know, and then how to get that across. So it was like, okay, beginning of the game, we want the player to know that Sam's 17, just so you know what point in their life this character is at. So we should have a birthday card to her saying happy 17th birthday, and we need somebody, a throwaway character that's not going to exist elsewhere, to have signed it. And so I think Twitter DM'd Harvey Smith and said, Harvey, can you write happy birthday Sam from Uncle Harvey on a piece of paper and scan it for us? Well, I think I said scan it for us, but like 5 minutes later, he just replied with a cell phone photo of this, and he fucking owned it, and Harvey's the best, and it's a huge honor to us to have Sam's Uncle Harvey be Harvey Smith.
His handwriting is really good.
Handwriting inside of this god-awful dog card was
The card was good.
He thought that was inappropriate for a 17-year-old.
And he was fucking correct.
He was correct.
And then so on that tape, I think Karla, you just threw this in without I didn't like pitch this or whatever. But there's an episode of Jeopardy that Mom recorded, parentheses, Uncle Harvey. So in the lore, Uncle Harvey was on one episode of Jeopardy, which means he didn't win.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
There's Gone with the Wind.
Yes.
I want.
That's from my mom, because my mom enjoys that movie.
Also, I want to look. So I wonder if this is also a good deep cut. There's that.
Yes.
There's that clipping later.
I think so, actually.
Okay, good. So later there's a clipping of Inside Edition that's an expose on like a whatever reconditioning camp that cures teens of homosexuality and other deviancy, and I hope that this date means this is a recording of that episode of the show that they clipped out of the TV guide.
We'll just check on that.
Because that would be some good.
Dad also loves Butch Cassidy and
Sundance Kid and The Fugitive
and
all the President's
naturally,
Men.
Those make sense.
Like,
That's
these are
dad.
good dad movies.
That's what dad does.
Yeah.
What else we got from chat?
Eric Mailer just asked, "What's on the blank tape?"
Right. What is on
I don't know.
tape?
Okay.
What do you mean? Blank? Literally?
I mean,
if it's not labeled,
it has a blank label.
It's a good
I mean, if
question.
it's not labeled, it's probably got nothing on it.
We don't have an answer for that.
No, we don't.
I'm sorry.
Got it.
I was curious. So I have some questions from earlier, which one was from my friend Ben again, which was, can you tell us more about how you picked the Riot Girl songs for the game?
I mean, so we were in a building. We were in a building that's near our current office, visiting some other game developers in town who had like a small office space, and they on the building directory we saw that the Kill Rock Stars record label just happened to be in the building we were in, and we were like, they're cool, and they have all that old Riot Girl music, and that would be absolutely what Lonnie would be trying to get Sam into in our game and everything. So basically we just reached out to their licensing company, and we're like, we're a small game, we want to use a few songs from these artists, and et cetera, et cetera. they were like, well, a couple of those people that you asked for are out of your price range. We were like, oh yeah, that's fine, whatever. But you know, we kind of got narrowed down to, okay, within these bands, who might we want to use? And the other thing is, at least with the agreement they had, I think in a lot of agreements, the artists have to sign off on it. So we were kind of like, okay, we'll pick a couple of bands. We'll hope that they're into it. We'll pick some songs from their albums. And they ended up being Heavens to Betsy, which was the first band that Corin Tucker was in, and then she was the lead singer of Slater-Kinney, who just recently reformed and went on tour and everything. Yep. And Bratmobile, which was another kind of original wave Riot Girl band from the early 90s. And then we just listened to their albums, and Karla and I, Karla and I just listened to the albums, and we sent some emails back and forth to each other, like, oh, I think maybe this song and this song, and then we narrowed them down.
Thematic appropriateness, and the ones that we liked the most.
Because it was kind of like, okay, we need a slow song for when, and then we need a song that's about, like, this will be good for when, she went to her first show and is all excited about stuff, or whatever. And then we were lucky enough to have the bands be into what we were doing, and since then we've gotten to meet some of the artists. We've met Corin Tucker. She came and did commentary for the game, which, by the way, if you like this commentary that you're listening to live, and you have the game on Steam or PlayStation or Xbox, and you'd like more stuff like this, not just from us, but from Chris Remo, who did our original soundtrack, from Corin Tucker, who is the singer of Heavens to Betsy. I'm about to put one of their tracks on, from Sarah Grayson, who was the voice of Sam, etc.
And Kate, who
isn't
here, and
hear
from,
she's live in the chat.
Yeah,
she is. She's all over the chat.
Then, when you finish the story mode of Gone Home, start a new game, go to the modifiers and commentary button before you confirm that you want to start the new game. You can enable commentary from there. There's over 90 minutes of audio commentary, kind of in the style of like Portal or Left 4 Dead, where you find icons all around the house and you click on them and hear insight from different people on the team and that contributed to the game.
Also, we swear a lot.
Yes, that is possibly the main source of our M rating on console, is that there's like 45 F-bombs in the commentary.
This also reminded me
scrubs.
that apparently that gay content is also a big red flag for ratings. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's real, but it might be.
I mean, I think we got hit for like
implied sexual situations as well, right?
I mean,
regardless of
like we have bottles of morphine in the game.
Right.
That too.
I mean, like
there's alcohol, tobacco, and drug reference, some sexual reference, and strong language,
and a lot of swearing.
So it's weird to
just
think...
6 and up in Germany.
Yeah,
I know. Because
it's weird to think that Gone Home is like. It's weird to think that Gone Home is an M rating, because I'm like. It's weird to me that it's not like a teen rating, but when you count up all the things that they hit you for, I'm like fair enough.
Valid. Those are true things.
Guess you better be 18 if you want to play this. This is a good.
I was just thumbs upping it a lot.
Romance novel that Mom is into.
It's LaRue is wonderful.
Yeah. Sorry, that's Steve. Steve did that one. I'm pretty sure.
Sorry,
that name.
Solid.
It's a little on the nose that Mom hid a firefighter or a forest fire, a forest ranger romance novel in her sewing box, but whatever. It's also hilarious.
Also, wait, now go back.
What?
Also,
What?
Let Karla go first. Mine's a joke, so go ahead.
I was just saying, real smart noticey people will note that the font here is the same one that we use for the bands in our credits.
No, that's true.
Oh, that's cool.
Kind of silly,
but it's appropriate for the front.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah. It's all embossed and horrible.
Yeah, it's ghastly.
So Eric Mailer points out, is this a book version of Firewatch?
It's a sexy book version of Firewatch.
It's Firewatch fan.
Right. It's the Twilight style.
So if you guys can screenshot this. And tweet that at Vanneman with Firewatch is looking great. And if as many people as possible can do that, Sean's just gonna have a great afternoon.
Yeah, that's true. I actually had one comment about the Riot Girl stuff, which was that when I first played, for me, like, I thought it was interesting that when I went, like, you know, there's Riot Girl music throughout the house, but when I went to the basement, I felt like that was really the area where I, like, started connecting with that music and feeling like it was part of, like, the character in the space. So that one, like, there's one room in the basement that I'm thinking of in particular where you find, like, the flyers and stuff.
Yeah.
That was when it really clicked for me, like, what sort of how that music was, like, working within the story.
Because that's their space.
Yeah.
Kind of,
And I really liked that room for that reason, because it just felt like I was finding little hints of it throughout the house, but then it all kind of came together in that room, and I liked that.
The first room you probably should have had gaming like a final level.
Yeah, and that is definitely the most abrasive license track that we have in the game. In that room, it is the screamiest. It's one where like I went back and was just testing recently for the console version. I was kind of like, man, we really put this in a game.
It's good.
It's good, but it is just like.
Is it the Zine room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Zine room.
When my dad played this game, every single CD he put it in, and he was like, "Nope."
I watched a lot of Let's Plays.
A lot of streamers.
They're like,
I listened to all of them. I loved it.
So, spoilers: secret passage marked on map.
Wow.
So you've now gotten a mechanical spoiler that there's secret passages in this game. But speaking of Joel Burgess, one of the lead designers from Bethesda, he played an early version of Gone Home before we had secret passages in the game, and he was kind of like, it would be really nice to be able to like not have to backtrack as far to get back to the basement and stuff like that. And it's a spooky old house. It would be cool if you could find secret passages to get around. And I was kind of like, you're right, Joel. It turns out there's a reason that you designed dungeons for a living, because you're fucking good at it. So thank you to Joel for suggesting secret passages. I really do think that they add a lot to the game. Both in just like, part of the game becomes about how you understand the space and how it connects, and that it has connections that you didn't imagine were there before. And some of it is like in the fiction, it's like, oh, this says something about the house and the people who built it and what this place used to be like, etc.
Totally.
So.
Yes. We ended up having to depict what a secret panel looked like because it was too confusing to just describe it. Like, just the fact that it's below eye level by default was just kind of like escaping too many people, and so we were like, alright, we can have a picture of it. And that helped a lot.
That was something else that playtesting helped with a lot, because we sent out a version of this where just there wasn't that Polaroid there, and a lot of people were like, I went to where it said on the map, and there wasn't anything there. And so we had to be like, it's one of these.
It's down,
But that's cool, like, it makes it more, it adds something to this asset. Like, it's cooler to have more multimedia kind of on this screen, and also just helps you know what the fuck the game is trying to tell you. Like, I'm not interested as a designer in having you have to, like, puzzle that out. I'm like, go to the place, do the thing, you understand.
No, it's good.
So, anybody want to get spookumed?
You do.
What's this?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
What's gonna happen when I... Oh no, it seems like it has creepy words on it. Oh. Ah! Sorry.
You didn't throw it. You have to throw everything when that happens.
Yeah,
it's the rule.
That's one of the few just like straight up scripted events in the game. Was I just wanted to prank on people by saying you start examining the crucifix, and then like 1.85 seconds later or something, it pops the light bulb behind you, and we had a lot of people report. I've in fact seen people report that's where they stopped playing the game.
Well, Chad is screaming and going wild with fear. You scared the bejesus out of us.
Jerks, spooks me. Damn it, run!
One person in chat was saying that for their third and fourth playthroughs, they avoided even going near the cross. Is it true that the light will stay on if you don't pick it up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what they said. They avoided it so that they could keep the light on.
It's 100% just like, did you start examining this crucifix, then burst the light?
When I was playing, I was moving away in my head from the idea that this could be an actual ghost story until that point, and I was like, okay, this is totally, still might be a ghost story.
It's not happening. So
He's famous.
yeah. So yeah, we've got some of Sam's writings, her other kind of hidden stuff in here, and this is where we start getting some combos, some gameplay. What's this? Only half of a combination? Something that I realized, like while we were getting this finished, is I just realized how this is not half a combination best practices. This is a 4-digit combo. I give you 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's true.
You can brute force that first digit so easily after you find it, but there's really no reason to find the other one.
So originally we had this broken into 3 pieces, torn into 3 shreds, and that was just too dang much. And so I think I retained the work that I did and just like stuck 2 of them together, because like doing that little fiddly edge was just a big pain. And I was like, I'm not doing that again.
So yeah, check your map. Now it's marked with the secret passages and with little X markers that show you where those hidden panels are. Also, any door that you've clicked on and it's locked gets the little locked icon next to it. But the 3rd hidden panel is ahead and to my right here. Grab loose panel.
Doink.
One thing that I really thought was important is all of the loose panels and all of the secret passages in the game can be interacted with from spawn, and like you if you already know where they are, you can get them early. The thing that I did to juice that a little bit is the fob distance, the interact distance on a secret panel or a secret passageway door or whatever is very short when you start the game, and when you get a note that tells you where it is, that interact distance goes back to normal. So, you know, if you're a player and you want to speedrun and you want to play the game out of order and you already know where the secret stuff is, I didn't make it so you can't click on it until quote-unquote Katie knows about it. They were playing with their Ouija board. They got too spooked out. Yeah. They couldn't write the C and the K. It was too spoopy. Alright, so
are there any... I forget. Are there any tarot cards in this game?
No.
When I found the Ouija board, I expected to find some tarot cards lying around too, because I felt like my friends who had Ouija boards when I was growing up also had tarot cards.
That's, I mean, fair enough.
So, I don't know, just the thought from when I was playing.
Yeah, tarot cards are pretty involved.
Yeah, they are, totally.
That would have been a little bit much. I was like, don't put that on my list. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. We could have gotten one of our cool art friends to do it.
Yeah.
I just liked that it reminded me, like, I definitely had friends that had, like, the tarot card sets and the Ouija board.
I had a friend when I was a teenager that we did Ouija board together, like, in the dark with a flashlight in, like, my mom's walk-in closet.
Right.
So it was just, like, as dark as possible. And he got so freaked out that he literally ran out the front door of our house because he was like,
That's good.
So now I have the combination to this.
Yeah.
What's Sam been doing? We can see all of Sam's bad stuff.
Yeah. Uh-oh. We both did that.
Sam's been stealing.
And smoking cigarettes.
Yep.
And grabbing Dad's girly magazines.
Uh-oh.
Finally, Gillian Anderson.
Finally.
Wait, is it... There's still, like, little security things left on her clothes, and I thought, is that implying that she stole those clothes? Okay, I thought
so. She's been shoplifting, she's been smoking, she's looking at early mags.
This is bad, this is bad girl
bad
stuff.
That's why she tore up the combination and hid it throughout the house.
And she's also got a photo of Lonnie.
And a cute picture.
Yeah, this was the first image of Lonnie that Karla did, and I feel it's very good. Nice job, Karla.
She's got her little tiny cross necklace.
Yeah, that was a creative direction. Like, can you put this in thing?
Okay, to saying that Emily wrote a font, which is the
that's right.
Emily did.
So like the text we're seeing in the bottom right corner that says Sam's journal, any of the like tutorial text that comes up, any of that, that's all Emily's handwriting, and Karla made a font out of it.
That's so cool.
Because she did the front logo. She also drew and painted all of the map tiles and outlines and all that kind of stuff. So we just wanted the text, the art, all of that to feel like it came from the same hand. Karla made a font. Grab that basement key. You want to see the best piece of flavor text that any good video game developers ever written.
Yeah.
Check this out. There's a key with a tag on it that says the word basement. The tag says basement.
Nice.
Scare quote.
That's some Silent Hill 2 stuff.
So I think what this is an artifact of is I think that I wrote that text when we just had generic images of keys when we were first sending out playtests, and it was just a picture of a key. So I wrote the text. The tag says basement because there was no basement tag on it, and then Karla made a real graphic for it, and we just left the text. Killing
It's
it.
every old school adventure game, right?
Yeah.
True.
Well, I mean, because like at least I went back and like with the front door key, a spare key that was hidden under old Christmas duck. This is my boarding pass back from my year in Europe. The tag says basement.
It's so like the guy in Silent Hill 2. He would definitely
yeah.
Jams would say that.
Yeah.
He would point out the obvious, as he always does.
Nothing interesting here.
Nothing interesting here.
Okay, so now I have the basement key, and I'm gonna go unlock a door. Sick. Leon let me keep the blink frequency on this, even though it bothers him that a real fire detector does not blink red that often.
It's too bulky.
But it makes it more noticeable.
I had actually never noticed that there were fire detectors in this house.
When the lights
Yeah, I should have noticed. Why didn't I notice that? I did notice the vents in the floor because I remember like cutting my feet on those when I was a kid.
We used to have things in those fucking vents.
I still do in one part.
Right, but that's sticking out.
Yeah,
we used to
you used
have
to be able to
you
open them.
take the vent off, like,
I remember that was one of my pieces of feedback was like, I had these things when I was a kid. And there's no way I would ever be putting my hand in there to like, retrieve anything because they were disgusting.
They're gross.
Yeah.
Because they were disgusting.
Yeah.
Period.
Look at these good-looking, like, lath and plaster walls.
Yeah,
and,
something
like,
that. So this is a Kate detail,
Yeah.
but like this is something that's a really good detail because I now live in a house that was built more than 100 years ago, and the walls in my house are thick ass lath and plaster construction, and so I now know that this type of wall construction is super period appropriate for when and where Pacific Northwest this house would have been built.
People are accusing you of being a messy explorer.
what does that mean?
Explain yourselves, chat.
You're leaving drawers and stuff open and doors open.
How do you like that? Oh, is this messy, chat? Do you like this? It'd be terrible if I was a messy explorer.
I think maybe the best moment of the stream was when Karla put everything into the kitchen, into the bathroom
Fair
sink.
enough.
I was cleaning up.
Yeah, it's good. I like that.
A fancy man.
Look at that fancy man. He's holding fancily a chicken leg.
Yeah, he's
With,
holding a
like,
chicken leg.
very carefully.
With his thumb and fingertip.
Right,
It's
because,
very
you don't want to, like, touch it.
I love the little swirly D.
I was totally just being a goof on it.
It's really good.
Well, so like this was there's a lot of very minor characterization in these notes, and this is Lonnie starting this chain, and she starts out trying to write like she's fancy. I would like to cordially thank you for having me to your abode, etc. And then halfway through. And also, it was weird being around your parents for that long, but it was pretty funny. Etc. Very cordially yours, your close friend and confident.
She spells confidant wrong, which
because Lonnie is
fine.
She's not an English major. And then Sam is the nerd who just like follows it through all the way. She stays in character end to end. And yeah, Karla did
Like
the
I do a lot
squiggly
of
D
curly.
and the squiggly S and Esquire.
But that was
Esquire is key.
And then in some points we actually did the art on white paper, but at some point I think just during development I was like, man, we have a lot of fucking white papers. Can we like just tint some of these? And so Karla went in afterwards and just adjusted levels to make some of the papers pink or yellow or something, just for a little bit of visual interest.
Yeah.
But I did this drawing because this is one of Lonnie's drawings, and then Greg Miller, who now runs Kinda Funny, was such a big fan and booster of the game that I cut the original out of my notebook and gave it to him. And I just saw it framed at the Kinda Funny house when I was there last.
Cute as heck.
But yeah, it's a little like heart made of plants, and then there's a little bird and a tiny little rat sitting on the plant, which I assume Karla approved of. So.
Sure.
I mean, tiny little rats sitting on things.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Very nice. I like all the cobwebs.
Yeah, they're good
Oh yeah,
cobwebs.
there's them cobs.
Kate did a great job with them.
Yeah, I tried to make them as subtle as possible when I was actually placing them in the level, because I didn't want it to really just be maximum
Cobweb
haunted
City,
house.
yeah.
But yeah, she made a few. She made ones that I could place like this in the corner to kind of fill the corners, and then some that were made to go across like a door frame or above,
Yeah, they
you
were
know,
good.
overhead.
I really liked finding stuff in the basement a lot.
Basement is a really interesting environment. It's super different.
Well, it's the most
I like it.
abstract space in the game.
Well, spatially, but like I don't know, we're all familiar enough with like crap being stuffed in a basement, and like I don't know, it feels good.
Yeah. Speaking of details, it's
Yeah.
all here. This is real. And then you go down here. Wait for it. Wait. Real. It's all here.
You can read it.
Yeah, I am glad that, because like so many games, you just kind of you zoom in and it's like, okay, well there's 12 pixels. But I'm just
The
glad
inside of the
that-
alien isolation lockers are just like, I have to sit in these lockers for a really long time. I'd like somebody to read.
Sitting in terror in the locker. Yeah,
but
Kate,
yeah.
Kate did a lot of sweet labels on that.
But yeah,
on that furnace.
it is probably
Water.
it's this guy's the water heater.
Yeah,
But it is a really interesting balance, because we were kind of like, we needed the basement. Basement's really just kind of a series of boxes, so the level design really came out of placing. And by boxes, I mean the shapes of the room.
Yeah.
So like the actual layout of the space is really based on where what these voids are filled with. So it's like, really, these walls just make a rectangle, but having this in the center, etc. And then yeah, the basement is all about stuff, almost all about stuff that people have in the family have just kind of shoved down there.
Yeah.
It's kind of where you're digging through the past in a more concerted way than a lot of the house. So hopefully that is like an interesting experiential break. I think also something that was important is like the thing that happens when you're on your way down here is you get the really like kind of pivotal plot based like first kiss diary that's like, here's like Sam and Lonnie's story, it's happening. It like built, there were like 3 audio diaries. It's like, for show we went to together, we stayed over at Todd's place, this whole thing. And so I felt like it was really important for this to kind of be breathing room and be like, okay, also what's going on with Terry's dad, and like what is going on with Oscar, and like let's like take a breather and think about some stuff that's not just like plot, and then kind of get back into it.
It's a great change of pace, like period. Like you just have to relate to it so differently from how the rest of the house is. And it's just, I don't know, it's interesting, good.
I think that's Mom's citizenship stuff. Mom is Canadian.
That's a lot of detail, you guys.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we just like scanned a real one and then replaced the information, I think.
Yeah, but it wasn't as easy as it looks.
Right. No, I mean, yes, you're right.
But yes.
But
also, I had to fake a lot of things because like some of the concepts were just wrong. So I had to do a lot of like individual letter cutting and pasting and stuff like that.
Well,
it was a good time.
But it also took some good research, because like Karla, you researched where a Canadian immigrant coming to the Pacific Northwest would have immigrated through. So it has the seal of the city of Seattle from the 90s stamped on the photo, because that's the like port that she would have immigrated through, etc.
And like there's that circle there that's supposed to be where the seal is supposed to go, and it's off center, and like the typewriter they used to fill it in was not lined up correctly. And, yeah.
It's all real. It's good.
And Rachel's mom.
So a lot of the family photos in the
painted
game
over a bit, but
little bit, but it's mostly the same on
She's
this, in
actually
this
painted
case.
over a fair bit, but but I mean it's just like just move her out.
Right, as opposed to like change features. The family photos throughout the game are family photos of my wife's family, because she had the right number of siblings in the 90s, and they're all painted over and everything. Karla painted a mustache on Dad, and so forth. But yeah, this is just an old photo of my wife's mom, because my wife's mom played Sam and Katie's mom in the game photographically. If you ever end up going to Rachel's family's house, you can see the photo from the foyer just in their house, but without a blonde wig painted on Mom, basically, and a mustache. Also, her sister was totally painted over with like a plaid shirt and all that stuff. You did the most on her. This note people call out a lot because there's one of Dad's books that he had published, and then this letter from I gotta get in the light. From Dad's dad is just ruthless in just like a really fucking cold-hearted way.
I believe that this was typed on a real actual typewriter for me by my friend Nat.
Oh, awesome.
Also, like, he had some old antique typewriter, and I was like, you want to type this up for me?
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, it just looks good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So this is the first.
But yes.
This is the first book that Dad published, and then his dad, who so I'll put this back for a second. His dad, who you find out over here, was Professor Laureate of English at the University of Oregon in the 50s, and wrote at least one scholarly book entitled Joyce, A Complete Understanding.
Complete.
Which is the most dick move title
That's true.
for a book that you could write. He wrote this letter to Terrence after his first like goofy time traveling JFK sci-fi book was published.
And it's fairly ice cold.
Yeah, that includes I recognize my son in the subject matter. An author's work is the externalization of that which he holds dear and which he fears. In that respect, I believe your work was successful, but the lens through which the personal shone was needlessly clouded by genre cliches and implausible dime store, science fictional Dei ex machina. Because he's a jerk.
Yeah.
The great authors speak of their life's milieu in clear and honest tones.
Milieu.
The lens crystal that refracts their thoughts without distortion.
Crystals.
I urge you to shed artifice. You can do better. With a father's love and encouragement, etc.
That's why you kick in a portrait.
Yeah, that's
you get a little drunk and you go kick a
well,
portrait.
that's not kicked in.
No, that's a box. That's a box cutter.
That is,
this is
that
box
is
cutter work.
Yeah.
That's even more purposeful than a kick.
It's a kick height though, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it is now.
Yeah.
It might have been on the wall when the box cutter came out. So anyway, I don't know. It was. When I was writing some of these, I tried to write in character, and occasionally I would write something, and then as I finished writing it, just kind of be like, ugh. And I was like, okay, that's good. No holds barred. This shit's heavy, man.
And Dad like totally internalizes that by putting "You Can Do Better" on his own. Whatever, his own corkboard.
His tack board upstairs.
It's just another one of those like Granddad still has his hooks in Dad, even though.
Dad's his own teen. It seems.
Tiny, you were so off camera when you said
that.
Already.
Permanently off camera, you guys.
I'm looking sad.
So you asked about, or someone, chat asked about where the music came from. I answered the Riot Girl music. The third part of that, though, is Lonnie's band. So Lonnie's band is Girl Scout, which you can see a set list. So Girl Scout, the band formerly known as Cub Scout, set list from one of their shows. And so this is about how Todd, by the way, a guy who sucks being named Todd is the most Tynan thing in this game. I feel like.
It's great.
Pointing to your area.
Can you lean in and say Todd sucks?
I want to say
Todd. Todd's basement. Anyway, Todd's band's singer got kicked out, and Lonnie took over, and they renamed it from Cub Scout to Girl Scout. And so we knew we wanted to have Lonnie's band's music in the game, and the idea was we would cast a local like garage band with a female singer to play her band. We would license some of their music and then say in the game that it was her band. And it worked out really well because we released our first trailer that had the Heavens to Betsy and Bratmobile music in it. And we got an email from the organizers of a local Riot Girl music festival here in town saying, would you want to come show your video game at our Riot Girl Music Fest? And we were like, yes. The answer is yes. And so we went, and we were kind of in the back room, and one of the volunteers at the show who was just helping run things and keep things in line came and played the demo. She played it for like half an hour at the beginning of the night, and then she had to go help with stuff and do some stuff. And then she came back at the end of the night, and she played it for like another hour and played all the way through the whole demo, and was just like super into it. And we like used her as playtest data, basically what do you think, whatever, etc. And she really liked it. And she was like, oh, by the way, I'm in this band. You should like check out our music. And we were like, okay. And we
Can
listened
do.
to it, and we were like, this is Lonnie's band.
Perfect.
This has
so
to be.
perfect.
So, you know, speaking of the whole luck roll thing, there was just some shit where the universe walked up to us and was like, hey,
do you
I
need
sing
this?
for a cool, like, girl-fronted punk garage band that sounds like it's from the 90s. Could you use one of those? I like your game. Yeah, let's go, everybody.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, so their band in reality was called The Youngins. They had one album. You can find links to the bands in the soundtrack on GoneHomeGame.com, or you can just search Youngins Bandcamp. Their first album was really good, and if you like an angry teen lady screaming at you when you're listening to music, then I've got an album you should check out. Also, I found later, I didn't realize that it turned out afterwards that she was literally 17 when they recorded that album, so I was like, holy shit.
That's really
I
good.
did not expect it to be so perfect. This is one of those real deep fiction references to the family bootlegging in the 20s.
I believe Foley did this for us.
I think so.
note.
Our friend Foley, who
yeah.
helped us record some sound effects for the game, also did this handwriting for the bless you, for the sheriff of Boone County, which is not called out anywhere.
Yeah. It's alright.
But I knew it was. He mentions the governor. Governor remains very pleased with enforcement in Boone County. I believe this arrangement shall hold for some time.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is an order this month: 2 cases brandy, 2 cases rum, 1 barrel whiskey. So yeah, this is
March 1929.
Yeah. No, 23.
Oh, 23?
Yeah, Prohibition ended in 29.
Oh, you're right. I can't quite. Oh, it is a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, this is one of those real deep cut things. Like, if you can puzzle that out,
More power
then you kind of get the implication.
Oh wait, you should look at the map because it doesn't have the garage yet.
Oh
which
right.
is not
Well, which is like the.
We haven't seen it yet. So.
Yeah, but so we wanted to put like an old map of the house and imply that it had been expanded after this point. So like, this is the foyer where you come in through. It's got the windows on either side of the door. It's very accurate. Carla photoshopped this together from real architectural drawings from the time.
I hacked this together like piece by piece.
Yeah.
Like it was,
Well, and in
it's a
fact,
mess.
this is actually this style is from like the 30s or
Yes,
40s because
it's
this
like
was
the
for an
30s.
extension to the house, not the original blueprint.
Right.
Because this house was constructed in
So-
1898.
Right, so it was the 1930s reconstruction of the house at that time period, and and showing
so
what.
from here, if you think forward, you will note, oh man, there's a specific icon for sliding doors.
Yes,
It's an S. with an
we were
arrow.
just
talking
Nina
about
noted
that.
this yesterday when we were running through
Very
this,
strong.
and I was like, man, I'm glad I did that right. Nina was like, well, but why is some of the doors not like that? And I was like,
Yeah. I guess there wasn't a closet here. Whoops.
I also like the thickness, the difference in the thickness of like the lines with the outside of the house
I like
having
that a
like
lot.
the thicker. I don't know. It's so detailed. It's like really cool.
It's really
Yeah,
cute.
and here's the glassed-in front porch with the windows in the porch.
So presumably they did that at that time or something like that. Maybe.
Well, I mean, this
maybe
is
not.
this is a draft of what was there,
Yeah.
and I guess what was being. So I'm not sure what the
Maybe-
expansion was and what was already there.
Maybe this occurred at the time of an expansion, but not the last expansion.
Right. So
Yeah. Anyway.
they added it. So the thing you'll note here, we've got the East Hall, we've got the Angledy Hall, we've got the kitchen, the pantry, and then this is the patray, and then this is an exterior wall. But in the game, this is where the 2-car garage is. So the implication is that later than this, there was an expansion on the house where they added a 2-car garage and a little shed. I wouldn't be surprised if the 2-car garage maybe was supposed to be an addition in the 40s or 50s, because that's when kind of like everybody getting a car was like a thing.
Well,
They would have had to have
multiple cars. Yeah, that totally would.
They would have had to have a car earlier just because they lived up on top of a hill in the middle of nowhere.
But that's a car, you
right?
know, and, then
And
it's
that
like,
could have been part
put
of
it in the driveway, you know.
Well, or
whatever,
they had the whole. There would be like the little like just kind of enclosure to kind of go over. There's a
yeah.
roof to go a carport, I
Yes.
suppose.
Those are.
Got any
Cues?
sick cues from chat?
Questions? A lot of people in chat have been commending the attention to detail, by the way.
This is attention
That's all
to
we
detail.
got.
Yeah.
There's
This is a photo of Multnomah Falls, which is outside of Portland, and Carla actually took this photo.
yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Now I know where that is because I've been there.
Hooray! Games are real! Games are real!
Obviously, we used our own photos and stuff whenever possible because I have the rights to the photos I took. So that's
So this is
something.
one of those things where
Yes.
I wrote this on a piece of paper and then Karla ran it under the faucet and then scanned it.
Oh, that's good.
Because so what you find, so this postcard is actually has a deep chronology to it, because there's this postcard which you can see is all folded and rumpled and has gotten wet at some point, and text is, "Hey Sam, I'm writing you from Multnomah Falls. I'm here on a stupid class trip, which is stupid because it's March, and I don't know if anyone running the school has been to Oregon before, but it's cold and rainy as shit in March. Wish you were here. Oh wait, you are here because I'm writing this to you in the gift shop. Oh shit, here you come. Lonnie." So she just stole this postcard and wrote it to her, and then
stuffed in her pocket,
handed it to her when she came in. And then when you put this down, the audio diary is about how after this point they went off the trail on Multnomah Falls when it was rainy and terrible and slipped in the mud and got soaked, and so that's why the postcard is all wet and the text is all running. So anyway,
it's very complete.
So anyway,
I have one question that I missed before that they re-asked, which was
don't like it.
the Dark on 3 asked, "Did you have to migrate to Unity 5 to get this on consoles?"
Leon?
Leon
Hey,
leading
that's
to
a
the image.
Leon
Yeah.
question. The real.
Go ahead.
The answer is yes.
Yes. We didn't
Yeah.
have to, but it,
We had.
No, I think we had to.
We
at this
actually
point.
did have to. I think. Yeah.
I
oh,
don't,
because of
I don't
like,
think 4.5
NDA
is.
reasons we can't talk about yet.
Well, no, I think that 4.5 is just not like whatever the XD the whatever like I don't know. Anyway, on a lot of stuff in Unity 5 has much better compatibility for new consoles and runs better, and it's just like fully. The new consoles are fully supported from the ground up in Unity 5 in the way that they weren't in Unity 4.x, and it just allowed us to get it. It's not like it would have been impossible necessarily, but it sure as hell is a good thing that we had the better tool set of Unity 5 to work with to get this thing on screen. So yeah, we are on Unity 5. This is not an HD remake or an intentional like graphical upgrade. We redid a couple of assets that we kind of wanted to get back to, but the real emphasis was just make it as faithful of a version of the PC game as we possibly could, and as noted from Leon's standpoint, especially make it run as smoothly as possible on console hardware without degrading the visual quality compared to PC. So it runs a solid 60 throughout the game, which we felt was really important just for the feeling of smoothness and immersion, and kind of not feeling sluggish, when you're just in the house and trying to feel like you're inhabiting it. But all that stuff I think that the engine upgrade helped with.
Yep.
What else we got?
There's one, I wasn't sure if they were noticing this because you had left them open, but when you enter the parents' room, are mom's drawers open when you enter?
Some of them.
Some of them? Oh, okay, so Walfun was asking, do mom's drawers appearing hastily open imply a last-minute decision to go away with dad instead of Rick, as implied by the calendar in the kitchen?
Okay. So that's
that's a connection.
That is interesting.
That's an interesting
Read,
implication. You know what our authorial intent was, right, Karla?
Yes, of course.
So what was it?
Well, so, yeah, what we actually intended was that Sam kind of trashed the place and, looked for, she was trying to steal mom's extra jewelry and, whatever, maybe mom had a 20 in her underwear drawer or something, and Sam helped herself, much like to the VCR, which is not there. However,
Sam wasn't meant to have, trashed the place out of spite
No.
at all. The idea was that she ran through the house trying to find anything valuable that she could take with her to run away from home, so that she could sell them.
Yeah, because she thought she's all like, we're going to be on our own for however long. We better have something that we can, sustain ourselves with.
Right. So all of the VCRs are missing.
Yeah.
The Super Nintendo is missing, and the idea is that the bedroom drawers in here were flipped, looking for jewelry that was in the bottom drawer or whatever.
Right, yeah, someone was asking about that Super Nintendo as well, which is another question that you just answered.
And that's really obliquely referred to. There is a note at the end of the West Hall where Sam says, she left it for Katie, and it says, Katie, seriously, please stop looking for me. P.S. Tell mom and dad sorry about the stuff that's missing.
Mhm.
So, you
Yeah.
know, she wasn't trying to be a jerk. She was just like, we're two teenagers without jobs that are running away from home. And one of us, I guess, is AWOL from the army, so we should probably
we can't
grab
get
a bunch
real
of stuff to
jobs
pawn.
and,
They could get real jobs, but they would
Just
be like
not-
minimum wage.
yeah,
They wouldn't
exactly.
be good jobs.
It'd be under the table jobs also, but yeah.
So there's the
There's
official version of the Goodfellow
Yeah.
owl, which is a much more direct reference to the Minerva's Den owl.
Yeah.
There's an owl. It's just like in the logo of Minerva's Den that looks somewhat like that.
Yes.
But actually, Kate, our 3D artist, suggested we redo it in the
Yeah.
style of Pacific Northwest Indians.
Yeah, and like some of it's a First Nations style thing. So like the implication is that they're Canadian or they're very close to being Canadian, and so they're close to the territory of such art styles.
I mean,
which is cool.
this was native to Washington and Oregon as
I
well.
guess you're right. For some reason I think of it as no, you're totally right. That was in the whole region.
It's basically
It was-
Pacific North, like these kinds of totems
you're
and
right.
stuff were Pacific Northwest generally. And,
You're right. Yes.
and there
that
are a
was what I
bunch
was thinking
of.
I was thinking of like Vancouver being really strongly that.
I mean, it
and
probably
think that
is.
wasn't,
It
like,
probably is even more
you're
so.
right.
But yeah, there's some like native sounding names like Takelma County,
Yes.
Takelma National Forest, etc.
Yeah, I mean, we made up Takelma County because it was a tribe of Native people that was around here that was vaguely appropriate.
Kate
That'll
says
show
Bad
you-
Coast Salish art. Salish? I don't know that word, but I figured I'd say it because she said it.
I guess Coast Salish or Salish art is what you can Google to see more art of this type.
Awesome.
That'll show you who runs things around this joint. She's tougher than a wild Mustang. No female is gonna tell me, yag.
Yag? What's a yag?
He just got kicked in the face coolly.
Oh, I thought that was some kind of like call.
No, he's saying, yag!
Because he just got like clocked in the chin.
Yeah, so we wanted to have all of the component pieces of
This
art of clips that they had pasted together to make their zine with. God, speaking of a bunch of deep cuts,
Yes.
the principal of the high school is Sheldon Grossman. Grossman is the internal name for the crazy doctor splicer in BioShock who says gross crazy doctor things. He's a gross man.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
It's fine.
He's the splicer that screams, everything's covered in semen.
Yep.
Everything!
He's
etc.
He's wonderful.
He's fantastic. So anyway, on the front of this, they scratched out some of the word balloon text and it says, "This was for you, Grossman," as she's kicking the guy that says, "Yag." And there's the cool drawing of them that she filled in her hair with a pink Sharpie.
It's super anime, by the way.
That's just how I drew when I was a teen.
When I saw it, I was like, "This is some anime fan art right now."
It was not on purpose. I just
Steve's just an anime team.
I was just
true.
like, I'm gonna draw these two characters. That's how I draw.
Yeah, you draw like an anime person.
I drew like a teen, and
Yeah.
I never stopped. This one cool thing was we made this.
You made this one.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I made this poster myself based on some posters that we had seen. But the Amps, Bikini Kill, and Sonic Youth actually played at the Roseland on Sunday, November 5th in like 1992.
Excellent.
And I had somebody after the game come out, like, screenshot this and be like, "I was at that show."
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Pick up the
I shall.
Yeah.
Somebody had fun with a label maker.
Who was it?
It was Karla.
Yes.
Karla bought an actual label maker on
Whoa.
Amazon.com and printed these out and scanned them.
I still have it. It
Good.
was awesome.
So here is the...
Is there a label on the cassette player in this room?
Yes,
Thought
and it
so.
says... Grossman blows.
Karla was like, "I need to see this."
He does blow.
And so yeah, this is their angry room. This is where Terrorist by Heavens to Betsy was...
evil face on the
Look
back
how
of it.
pissed off
Is
it
there
is.
some kind of mana potion on that tape?
Yeah, it looks like
It's
there's
a bottle of poison.
Yeah.
It's a bottle of materia.
Well, it's
Materia is not a liquid.
I liquefied
I mean,
it.
it's still
Stop.
booze, right? It's moonshine.
You don't know about Final Fantasy canon?
headcanon.
Okay, fine.
It's been created.
There's a noose. There's a brass
buster,
knuckles.
yeah.
So yeah, this is by far the most abrasive song in the game, and I'm happy with it. I remember. So there's someone, the guy that I worked with at Irrational, who is a producer named Adrian, and so part of the reason that this stuff was all in my head was when I was working at Irrational, I read an article on the Onion AV Club. They did a series called Gateways to Geekery, and one was Riot Girl music, and it had like a basic history, and like here are albums that are like important to know about, you could listen to or whatever. So I was like, alright, and so I started listening to albums that ended up being on our soundtrack, like when I was making levels for Bioshock Infinite at my desk, and I was playing them on my headphones. I remember I was listening to this song, and she just like was like at certain points, and I was playing it loud. I just have the image in my head. Adrian sat across like the cubicle divider from me, and I just have this image in my head of him looking over the cubicle at me because he could just hear me going out of my headphones. And I was like, so anyway,
Wait, go back
thank
and
you,
look
the
at
Onion AV Club,
look at
for
the poster.
that gateway to geekery.
Got this sweet Broadway poster that Alex Dagan, the cartoonist, did for us. It's a good poster.
That was great.
I just like it.
It's very on point for like
Yeah.
the '90s weird abstract drawing that would be on a
Yeah.
film poster
It's
for
like
a
cool.
family. So, yeah. Something possibly interesting about this. So like, this is the first clue I think that the audio diaries you're hearing come from something that Sam wrote down somewhere, because when you read these scraps, deep cut. When you read these scraps, this is a discarded first draft of an audio diary that we didn't end up shipping in the game. As is this. Yep. But then,
which is why I actually put these here, or why I made these into things. Yeah, because I was like, we haven't used this.
But then this one is just verbatim a transcription of the audio diary that's upstairs in the sewing room. So if you're paying a lot of attention, you're like, wait a second, isn't that one of the things that I heard her reading? The implication being that these are clips of stuff that ended up being parts of like articles in the zine. If you could open that zine, that would be some of the content inside of it.
A Little Wolf was asking before if you guys have like. Was asking if you guys have a personal favorite journal or audio diary.
What about you?
Me? What would I liked the hair dye one? I think the most.
The hair dye one was pretty cool.
Yeah, because like finding it, I don't know. That was like one of the early moments in the game where I was like really feeling the connections between the audio diaries and something I saw in the world. I feel like I came across that really early, and that moment stuck out to me. Yeah, and I just always was like, whoa, that was like the first moment where I was like, this is like a thing. So yeah, I like that one a lot.
It's cool.
Do you have
I don't know.
thing that jumps out to you?
Let's see. I don't remember, and now we're not like listening to them, so.
Right. Well, here's my favorite.
I don't have anything ready.
Yeah, here's my favorite journal. No, okay. So here's my potential favorite journal of the game. Is this one? So I grew up in Florida.
This is a very good.
I left Florida when I was 19 years old to move to Oregon to move in with my then girlfriend when I was still a teen. Welcome to I Wrote This Game. And so part of the backstory for this is Lonnie is raised by a single dad, and Sam mentions that she's annoyed by her mom in this note, and then she's like, sorry, I didn't mean to bring up being ungrateful for having a mom, like I shouldn't complain. And then Lonnie says, I'm being serious, my mom's a psycho-Christian and her new husband, parentheses, quotes, Don, is a complete tool. Living in Florida with him is her eternal punishment in my mind. So you wouldn't rather live with your mom in Florida? So that's my favorite, probably note in the game.
Oh, also wait, no. Click on that again real quick. So if you and also back up in this one, this one, the no. Lonnie, I folded this up into a football. This is one of those like dumb little those weird little. She folded it up into a weird little shape and gave it to Sam, like maybe flicked it at her or something across the. Anyway, so that one was back from Lonnie. And that was what she wrote.
So she folded up in a little flickable football and flicked it across the classroom too. That's good and strong.
Anyway.
I can see it now. And this is that point where we got to the point in development where you actually wrote it on, or I wrote it on a piece of paper.
You did.
Then you scanned it.
I folded
or
the
then
hell
you
out
fold
of
it. Then you scanned it. So it's all in the asset.
Yeah.
Karla's in the game.
Oh, it's true.
There she is.
I'm over there on the left. That's me.
That's college Karla with 2 kids.
23 or something. I don't know.
That's a really good picture.
Karla plays one member of Tincture.
Good old Tincture, which is the most insufferable fruit band.
What do you think you played?
Such a garage band.
In the band.
Boy, I don't know.
Keyboards?
I think sure. That's good.
I liked your socks were very strong in that picture. They were
stripy.
Oh, I like
right. There's multiple stripy socks going on in this photograph. So as we were talking about earlier, at one point in development, the heating registers, the heating grates were interactive, i.e., it was too much. You had to find like a little hex key to unlock it to open them, and then it was like a Super Metroid-y kind of like, I got a tool, I can go back and open all those things I saw, and it was just like it felt off tone because it was just like so you're just like going around finding keys and vents, and like it's a little much.
A certain amount of stuff in there, and it also leads to a lot of backtracking,
and you can forget where it was. I mean, we're gonna mark.
We were gonna have them on the map, but it's anyway. Anyway.
So, but I wanted to keep the aesthetic. Kind of impact of that.
And they're appropriate.
Yeah. So I shoved a ticket stub in here, and you fish it out of there, and
I'm proud of this ticket.
And then this is the ticket for Mom going to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
That lost
the way to change.
In a couple of different ways.
Yeah, it lost its alpha on the edge.
It never shipped that way. That's why people thought it wasn't.
I know, but at some point in its history, it lost its alpha. There it is on the back. See.
It's not holes though.
Sure, but it's no. You can see if you stop wiggling it, you can see on the left hand side that it's all So somehow it lost it on the front, but not the back.
That's odd.
Yeah,
must have just been the mapping, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
But in any case, this is one of those things where you set a game in the real world, and it's interesting to see how many things you can get wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Because two things. One, in real life now in Portland, there's a venue called the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall. Also, there is a radio station called Kink 101.9 FM that plays like adult contemporary, etc. kind of music. And so when we initially shipped the game, this ticket was to see Earth, Wind, and Fire at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall, put on by Kink 101.9 FM. And people played the game and wrote in and were like, until the year 2000, that was still the Civic Auditorium. It was not the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
Right?
And then somebody else wrote in and they were like, hi, I worked at Kink in 1994. And back then they still called it Kink 102, not Kink 101.9, And so I was just like,
all right.
We're patching it, we're doing a patch anyway, we're fixing this fucker.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'm really glad we could do it, Also, for dear Reed College students, for the console version, we finally fixed another important bug, which was that in the Reed College brochure, we used to refer to Reed College as a university, which it very pointedly is not. It's like part of their identity. It's like, we're a college, not a university. And we didn't do our research, and we were like, because it says like Reed College, one of the premier liberal arts universities in the country, and it was like, so anyway, since we were shipping a new version of the game, now that brochure only refers to Reed College as a college. So we're trying to do a good job. Took us a couple of years. We finally did a good job.
Earlier and now in the chat, people were asking about like what Sam and Lonnie would be doing now, and I guess if I would rephrase that question myself, I would ask if you guys ever thought about that at all. If you like speculated about it beyond the initial sort of like package of the game.
I personally love not thinking about that.
Yeah, I don't either when I'm writing stuff, so I feel that.
I totally
but
am just like, meh, that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I really have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened to them the next day. You know what I mean?
No.
Like,
Create extended lore, wait for the
Yeah.
sequel.
Yeah. No, it is like that's sort of the point, is that it's cut at an important point.
Yeah.
And, like
I'm
beyond
like-
that, it's just like manifold.
what's important about the end of the game? Spoilers.
The end of the game.
Is the ending of the game is that what's important is they came to a point where they decided they were going to run away together and try to make it work.
Right.
And that's what matters.
That decision is important.
And
yeah,
I don't
action.
know if they found some weird little town where they could get a cheap apartment and work in the general store and
In Mexico.
make it happen.
Yeah.
And nobody found them or whatever. I don't know if they immediately got found by MPs and Lonnie got busted for bailing on basic training. I don't know if they gave up after a week and just went back to their house. Like I don't know, right? Like hopefully
That's not within the scope.
hopefully in this day and age IRL they are happily together in some little house somewhere and their families have reconnected with them and it's just nice. But I don't expect that to be true. It would just wouldn't that be sweet?
Everybody look at No Butts in Heaven. It's real important.
Speaking of my wife Rachel, she did all of Katie's handwriting.
Yes.
So Katie wrote postcards and sent them back, and also has a school assignment she filled out. So my wife Rachel did all of the handwriting for Katie, and she also she made all of the art assets for these postcards.
Yeah,
so she
did a good job.
sourced the photos and did the stamps and all that kind of stuff. And she looked up actual stamps from the Vatican from the 90s, and this is an actual stamp design that was used by the Vatican
amazing.
City. And so she put it on there, and then she ad-libbed in the asset that Katie would put that note that says, "God, no butts in heaven."
We were like, that's staying.
Yep. I didn't write that line.
Nope.
But it's very
Look
good.
at the wheat on the chair. It's gorgeous.
And on the table.
Look at how gorgeous this
That
is.
is good.
On the inside of the table.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Anyway.
So yeah. Oh, look at that. Ooh, look, it's normal now.
Oh, it's
catching
beautiful.
the light. It's inlaid.
Kate, you did a good job.
Nice job, Kate. Everybody tell Kate you love her.
Kate.
In chat, type Kate, you're great.
Great Kate.
Kate's great. Purse. Kate made this purse. No, wait, actually,
think-
the student,
Yeah.
the British lady student that Kate was working with on a few things made this.
That's right.
It looks good. I think her name was Emma. Maybe I'm just thinking that because she's British, and if you're British and a lady, name might be Emma.
Valid.
Kate was saying, Jonathan, help me with that. He works at BioWare now.
Oh, cool. And he worked at Telltale at the time, I think.
And now everyone is spamming Kate is great with the number
Yeah.
8, which is the best.
Screenshot it now.
Yeah.
Tweet a screenshot of that and link to our chat because we're such a happy chat.
Yeah.
Thanks, chat. You're nice. Woo! Fast sliding door.
Real fast.
Katie doesn't fuck around with sliding doors. She's like, get out of here.
These sweet fractal folders. It's made by my friend Morgan, who makes cool fractals, including this one.
Yeah. This is one of the few. This is, I guess, the only audio diary where it uses scripting to test that you've clicked on 2 things.
Oh.
Because I didn't.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So you have to have you have to have read both of these things, and then you get Sam's audio diary about coming out to her parents, basically. And I guess as far as audio diaries go, this would be, I think, probably.
One of the longer ones.
Yeah, but as far as people asking what our favorite is or whatever, I
that's a
think
good
this is
one.
probably one of the. This might be the one I'm the most proud of, I guess.
That's a good one.
Because it used a lot. It just relied on a lot of research.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It
Because
was,
like.
yeah. There's a lot of very precise, like, experiential stuff that we heard from people.
Yeah, like I read a lot of people's blogs and nonfiction
You're too young to know
about
what
their
you want.
experiences, you know, like coming out to their parents and having to deal with what people thought about it and how they reacted to it. I interviewed people that I knew IRL who had, you know, actually gone through this stage in their life, and they could tell me about it. And, you know, I think that there's this kind of generic,
Well, joke's on them.
popular version of like the standard, you know, like coming out story or whatever. And I think if I had just kind of defaulted to that and been like, that's how this works, it would have been a lot more, you know, melodramatic and just kind of what you expect. But there was this aspect when I did the research of people just sort of being like, well, my family wasn't like angry at me. They were just like, oh, you don't really know what you want. Oh, this is just a phase, etc. And just sort of being dismissed, and that being its own kind of bad thing of just like, they don't even think that I'm worth like taking seriously, you know, like I know myself and they don't even believe me about it, etc., etc. And so I wanted that. I always like, once I started doing the research, I wanted Sam's arc to be about her being confident with knowing her own heart and knowing who she was and how she worked as a person, and for it being about the anxiety and challenges of like the rest of the world having to come into contact with that, and her own worries about what people would think, even if they were going to be cool about it once they encountered it, and so on and so forth. So anyway, I feel like, you know, I got a lot of good feedback from people. Owned.
Yeah, clearly.
I put it on the table.
You didn't put it on the table.
I did put it on the table.
You beast.
We can talk about that later. Because I was curious about that myself.
Alright, okay.
Blowing everybody's mind right now.
People don't put bananas in the fridge.
Yeah.
I discovered, according
Because
to everyone.
They turn black. I mean, like, anyway, nobody wants to eat a black banana.
And Karla was always mad about it and
I was like,
screamed
that makes
endlessly
sense.
about it.
Basically for the entire year and a half
Yeah.
that we were making this video game.
And so when we were shipping the console versions, I was like, do you want me to take that banana out of the fridge? And Karla was like, sure, yeah, why don't you just put it on the table? I swear to God I did.
It was in a check-in note, and I was on my list of things to check for the patch. It was like, this banana hasn't moved. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, sorry. Canon remains that some Greenbrier put this banana in the fridge.
Very recently.
Yeah. Okay.
It is turning.
So
Yeah,
what that means is Sam put this in the fridge while her parents were out of town because she didn't know you don't put bananas in the fridge. How about this? She was being considerate. She was like, I'm running away.
That's out of character.
I'm gonna put this banana in the fridge so it doesn't go bad before Mom and Dad get home. But she didn't know that's how it works.
Or Mom and Dad love bananas, and she's like,
So I think it's canon that this banana has been in this fridge for less than 12 hours. So Katie can save this banana's life.
Actually,
There,
you said
perfect.
they turn black. Some
Yeah.
people like the taste of
Squishy
bananas
black
after
bananas.
because that means it's sweeter inside.
Real weird, but okay.
That's what that indicates.
Alright.
Some things that I updated in the console version. I made it so these fish sticks are closer to the camera when you examine them, so you can read the text better.
They're good looking fish sticks.
Yeah.
These are Alex made the fish sticks. Alex and Wall.
A little bit of that frozen spinach.
I did that, obviously.
Frozen vegetables picked at the height of freshness.
Wow.
Et cetera, et cetera. We got some bags.
Kate did that.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
Kate has a graphic
yeah,
design
you can
style that I
totally
can
tell.
recognize.
whole kernel corn.
Wait, you have to look at the ice
Individually
cream.
quick frozen.
Look at the ice cream. Alright. Yeah, that's Dorothy Sayers, by the way.
Okay, good.
Anyway, alright.
I would eat that.
It was good, right?
Yeah.
I would eat that.
Yeah, I want ice cream. Yeah,
we got that
now.
cookie caramel.
Yeah.
Scream about cookie caramel.
Oh, we should get ice cream after this.
There's nothing you can do.
No.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we got from chat? Scream it to me.
Unsecret Crush says, my father-in-law puts bananas in the fridge.
It's not really a question.
Alright.
Yeah, I know,
I like
I
it.
just wanted to read them.
Oh yeah, this is our legit child
yes,
handwriting.
This is Ruby Petty.
Yeah. So good.
Something that I was happy about was I wrote this in text and just typed it out, and I did a lot of like 5-year-old child misspellings, like phonetical misspellings, like, oh, I think you might spell this wrong, or like use the wrong form of X or Y. And
Lee Petty was
a
smarter than
genius,
us.
and instead of giving his daughter the text of that and say, write this down, he read it out loud to her so that she would spell things the way that she thought they were spelled when she wrote them down.
And it is pro,
badass,
including things like Pureit ship,
right?
Which
Pureit's
is so
really good.
And Daniel, D-A-N-Y-A-L, uncapitalized in some cases.
Scarred. Oh,
yeah,
it's
are
so
you
good.
scarred?
I love it.
Smatha.
I
So
love
good.
it. It's really good.
And so, but something I was proud of was I was thinking about how when you're a kid you're like you hear a pirate say like I captain,
Right.
but
you don't know what it is.
you're like I, and so when I typed it out I did I captain, which you can see there when he read it out loud to her. An actual
She
5-year-old
replicated
also
that,
wrote
yeah.
it that way out of her own head. So
It's
I didn't do
good.
that. I think we may have also like spelled ocean the same way.
Yeah,
which is pretty good.
O-S-H-I-N or something? Where is it?
O-C-S-H-E-N.
Oh, it's even better.
Also, I like aisle being a comma in place of an apostrophe.
Yeah,
and
I
like
love it when,
she has this,
it's really
she has
good.
this exclamation point and question mark style with the big circle for the dot and the big circle and triangle for the exclamation
It's
point.
extremely good.
It's all extremely good. Anyway, oh yeah, and
She drew that
there's
too,
her
which is
picture
great.
of
Yeah.
Samantha and Daniel
Oh.
together.
I remember drawing shirts like that.
Yeah.
Who got all that?
I forgot which lights this was going to control.
Oh,
that's all.
Wait, go find the jazz one.
It's
Oh,
outside.
we'll get there. Yeah.
But
I
here's
can't wait.
But here's a mom mug.
This
Oh,
is
that is a good
gross
one.
mom mug.
So
Yeah.
good.
Both,
really
both
bad.
Karla and I basically had
Or we
a mom, or
saw it or
well,
something. Yeah.
well, did you not have one of these in your parents' house?
No.
Okay, so
I had seen them.
this is what it is. I
Yeah.
had so my mom had a mug just like this when I was growing up, and then when I visited my wife Rachel's family's house for the first
Oh,
time,
yes.
they had the exact same
Good.
mom mug
Yeah.
that I had grown up with.
Yeah.
So there's just this thing that says "mom" with a terrible gradient
That's
orange,
awful.
and then it's just like
Mom
weird little
quotes?
aphorisms
Yeah.
about what a mom is all the way around it.
So I found a bunch of mom quotes, and most of them are normal, and there's a couple that are deeply creepy, in case you ever go in there and read it.
And let's just make clear, the ones that are normal are ones that
They're
Karla
also
like Googled
weird.
from the online.
Yeah.
The ones that are creepy and strange are the ones that Karla made up.
That's totally incorrect. They're all quotes.
Really?
All of these are
All of
quotes.
them?
Yes, every single one of them.
Wait,
I'm not just gonna like.
Oh my
read
god,
weird
that one is
shit.
scary.
I absolutely thought that you did.
No, that's incorrect. I got them all somewhere.
Immaculate. Oh my goodness.
The
Immaculate
verb one is
strength.
the word immaculate's on there. Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Not to
yeah,
be
these are
violated.
absolutely real quotes. Yeah. No, I'm gonna just make it up.
I thought.
that,
well,
that
I
defeats the purpose.
No, I thought you intentionally snuck in a couple of just extremely weird
They're
ones
weird,
on
but
purpose
they're
that you
real
had just
quotes.
made up.
No,
Wait, what's the
no,
Freudian
why would
one?
That doesn't make any sense.
Where does it say
like,
Freudian?
It says,
In the middle.
a Freudian slip is when you say one thing and mean your mother. Yeah.
See?
It's stupid. You think I can make it up? I fucking cannot.
Right?
That's not, anyway. But anyway, that would totally defeat the purpose of this. I would never, like, just write weird. Yeah, no.
Very good.
Anyway, it's weird.
Andrew.
And, wait, hold on. An ounce of mother is worth a pound of clergy.
Yeah.
See? I thought that was just Karla writing a
That
weird.
doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Like,
That's why I thought you made it up and put it in there. I thought the whole idea was no one was going to be rotating
No.
this thing and reading all of it, so you just put
No.
some weird shit in the middle
I
of
did
it.
put weird shit, but I did not make it up.
That
That is,
makes
these
a
are
lot of
real
sense
quotes.
to me.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
All right. Yeah, it does in a way. You can. Yeah.
Andrew
That's
in
fine.
chat
I'm
was
disappointed
asking
in
what
that.
people's personal favorite models are in the game.
Christmas time.
Christmas
Personal favorite models? I don't know.
Jazz mug.
Yeah, that's mine. That's mine.
Not true.
Mine is Jazz Mug.
Mine's still
What do
Pizza
I-
Box.
Yeah, Pizza Box is good.
I made pizza box, and that's like it's not that good.
I love-
it's
That's a very
it's-
greasy
it's
pizza box.
very greasy pizza box.
It's very good.
What would you say?
I love the
Peanut
new
butter
cordless phone.
Oh,
yeah.
it's so good.
Speaking of HD upgrades,
Yeah.
the cordless
Very
phone
nice.
was one of the first. Was like in Kate's art test that she sent to us, and Kate used to work in like mobile and Facebook games, so it was.
It was pretty low quality.
It was highly performant.
Yes.
It was a low res
Well,
model.
It was very conservatively,
yeah.
polyed.
And so
This is-
we just kept it in the game because it was good. We accepted it in her art test. We were like, we need a cordless phone. It
Yeah,
goes in.
it was good.
But she she developed different standards over the course of development. So when given the opportunity to go back and redo the cordless phone a little bit, there's now an HD upgrade to our cordless phone in the console versions of Gone Home.
Oh, I love Steggy. Steggy's probably my favorite.
Oh, Steggy is good.
Steggy's awesome.
I really liked that pastel blue tape that you picked up.
Oh yeah,
those cassette tapes are a real good model.
Yeah.
That redo of Dad's books was Zach Hazard, I believe, doing the cover.
This one too.
That one as well.
Yeah,
they're so good.
These are the nice.
I love the skull clock. It's so good.
It's very bad and good.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, Unknown Dimension literature. The logo for Unknown Dimension was by our friend Jack Hayden, who does Snake Bomb Comics here in town. And yeah, I remember Karla and I were walking back from the liquor store one day, and as we did when we lived in the Gone Home house making Gone Home, we spent a lot of our time working on stuff and then being like, let's go do some errands so we can get out of the house. I need to go get some groceries.
Get more whiskey.
Let's go buy the 750 milliliter jug of whiskey because we're not gonna stop needing it.
This was a very whiskey-fueled game.
You looked directly at me when you said that.
Well, it's like your 5-gallon bottle of wine.
I do understand. I'm like now thinking about wine bottle models deeply all the time.
There's no wine bottles in this whole game.
I know. I was just gonna ask you that. I was like, where's the wine?
Yeah. This is causing me to distress.
She's losing.
Yeah.
Well, wine is good.
So we were walking back from an errand, probably I think the liquor store, and I was getting through the second half of Dad's story arc for the game, and I just kind of I didn't have an ending for it, and it wasn't kind of going anywhere, and I had an amazing epiphany that shows why I'm a professional writer. Where I turned to Karla and I went, maybe something should happen to him. And I was like, that would be a great idea. And then I was like, what if somebody I was thinking about ironic 90s world and how there were all these weird little like record labels and publishers and stuff that would just find like outsider artists and like old vinyl from somebody who had recorded one weird album one time and like track the guy down and get the publishing rights and re-release just some weird like trashy novel or comic book that had come out in the 70s that etc. So I was like, what if there was some weird goofy fly-by-night republishing house that finds weird old campy ironic sci-fi novels and then tracks down the authors to republish them and they sell them only through like mail order in the back of magazines or whatever. So I got into the character of writing a weird guy that would run a publishing company like that. And so I really like the text of this piece as well.
Is that our longest journal?
Oh, this is longest by word count. Yes.
Yeah.
It's densest. But
it's inside me.
Yes, I'm certainly proud of. We've had an unparalleled run since our inception 4 years ago, unearthing and reviving Christ or zombie-like timeless works such as N.N. Bestman's Message of the Snake Man, It's Inside Me by Jens Keller, and Emil Krieger's off-band Venusian Flesh Traders.
Flesh traders.
Not
word. Traitors. Traders. It's different.
Sometimes you gotta trade it.
It's a Noah lean-in moment.
No. Other details include this stationery is totally just Xeroxed.
Yes.
And Kaz's fucking typewriter doesn't have a working apostrophe key, so he writes it in with ballpoint pen.
Excellent. This is the letter that they wrote to Dad, and clearly he gave them the rights to reprint the novels because here they are. So I've typed plenty. We want your permission to reprint the work.
I have typed plenty, Kaz.
Supply a new forward for the books to appear in the brand new editions to be produced as a limited run and marketed directly to our highly discerning customer base, i.e. through our catalog, not in bookstores anywhere. Lonnie had this hat.
It's a real good
It was a
hat.
JROTC hat with a really good little medal stuck to it.
Good hat.
That's one of the journals that you missed in your attempt to.
Yeah.
I was watching that. I was like, oh, is there a bug here?
No. I'm just great at games. Don't worry. Yeah, if you there are Chivolos, Trophidelios, on console. There are 2 speedrun achievements. One of them is getting all 24 audio diaries in the game in under 10 minutes, which you kind of have to strategize to do. I attempted to do that with Andrew Goldfarb at IGN last week. You can find that video on IGN and see whether I succeeded or not. Anyway, there's a note on the fridge. I'll go look at it while I'm here. About Sam's part-time job. Sam's schedule working at Crown Burger, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. So in the garbage bin out in the garage,
look at it poking over the bottom.
There's a name tag and a shirt. So this would be Sam's name tag from working at Crown Burger. The logo of which is a clown.
Yeah.
And Tynan's favorite phrase in this entire game is "Ask me about clown combos."
That's true.
And yeah, this is just some weird ass shit where just like I wrote down Crown Burger and then Karla drew a clown instead, and then we started talking about clown combos, and
we thought it was fine.
Now it's all real.
Yeah.
That's the entire situation. All right, and then here's a good crumbly note.
This is very serious.
My parents are leaving town, so I'll run the whole house till you leave. Imagine actually spending the night in my room instead of sneaking up to our usual spot in the attic. Foreshadowing, environmental storytelling. Not that the attic doesn't have its musky allure, but my bedroom is warmer. We should defile your parents' bed while they're gone. That'll show them. Teens! You know what happened in that bed before they smoothed the covers down so nobody would know. Yeah. Lasciviousness.
They were like this wicker bed.
Oh, the least sexy material like ever created.
Speak for yourself.
Why that voice?
Because he's talking about wicker.
Because he's at Wicker Guy.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
You're at the Wicker Man.
No, that's a different guy.
I know, it's also bad.
Yeah.
That Wicker Guy is different than the Wicker Man. They fight about it.
Anyway, yeah, here's the last postcard in the game with some Gaudi architecture.
Looking good.
Yeah, so this is the crumpledy flyer for the last show that Lonnie did with her band, and then it's got the saddest of audio diaries in it. This is the one that we got in one take because we were recording with Sarah Grayson, the incredibly brilliant voice actor for Sam, and she started reading through the audio diary, and she was getting to this part, and she started getting like a little bit choked up, and it's like, oh, that's good acting, and then it just got totally silent in the booth, and Karla and I kind of looked over, and she was just sobbing, and she was just like, and we were just like, don't touch anything, and then she just like is a pro and got herself back together and just read the rest of the line after she had kind of like gathered herself, and then we were like, yeah, we got that. You just want to come out here, and like I gave her a hug, and it was just like, but she just really inhabited Sam's character as like what she was going through, and I think it really comes across. Also, that line was the main line. The ending of this diary is can I go through? Oh yeah. Is after a long time she found me. She said she was sorry. She said, I wish things could be different. I just wanted to make you happy. And then I said, I don't think you can anymore. And that was the point where I just went, I got kind of like gave myself a gross chill when I wrote that down. I was like, okay, that means that works, because this is a rough time for these kids, you know. So let's see. If we got any good chat questions, we're getting close-ish to the end of the game. So if you got any good chat questions?
Yeah, I guess 2 broader ones left from what I had noted down. One
softly.
being, softly is good.
Softly.
Yeah. By the way, I love all the names of like the different
good directions.
What would be the word? Merchandise in the
packaging
products. Yeah, they're good.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
I like them. Dr. Jitters. When I saw that, I was like, "Yep." Yes.
It was actually really hard to find a Dr. Pepper knockoff that made sense, but
and
it wasn't
a
already
real
taken.
thing.
Yeah. Like,
there's so many of them.
There's a trillion of them. Look at that. It looks good. Good job.
So one of the more general questions was from Campus Annis earlier, asking if you guys have any opinions or thoughts on the future of games in this style. So like story-based games without combat.
The future's so bright, I gotta wear shades.
Yeah. Whoa. That's an answer.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm really excited that there's a lot more games that are like starting to continuing to push what this kind of game does in a lot of different directions. I mean, we came from a point of referring back to Dear Esther and 30 Flights of Loving and Amnesia and Proteus and the original like Stanley Parable mod, etc., right? Kind of looking at those things as like, oh, this is something that people are making an entire experience out of. And we come from our background of working on BioShock. We could take that core experience and focus it on just one part of that aesthetic output of like being in the place, exploring it, finding out what happened there, and maybe that can be what the game is about. Using that level design set of tools to like guide the player, using the audio diary trope, but hopefully in a way that's like fitting to the game, etc. And so I think and hope we've been part of continuing to show that this kind of game is viable and be an influence on like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture is like about having this kind of experience, but throughout an entire town and being able to see these glimpses of what happened to people there. And like Firewatch kind of takes the Telltale, dialogue tree, building a relationship with a character thing, and overlays it on this environmental exploration, and is kind of about like, what if you were building this relationship between these characters while you explored, and so on and so forth. Like Adrift is coming out, and it's like, fully like 3D, 0G, survival exploration kind of game, and I think that we're just continuing to see more and more people just kind of say like, well, if you take the shooting out of a first-person shooter, like what else can you do with that base? What else can we explore? So I think it's really cool. Yeah, yeah. I love that more of these. I'm really excited that like we came out, and then in a couple weeks The Witness is coming out, and then a couple weeks after that Firewatch is coming out, and it's sort of like, look at all this cool stuff that you can do by like kind of paring down and then starting to build back up from that.
Sure.
I really like this note, just because this, I think, of all the crumpled notes, has the most like physicality to it.
Well, that's because it was real wet when I crumpled it.
Yeah.
We tried to actually run, because occasionally you can run a paper through a washer and dryer and still be able to make out, pieces of it, but it just ruined the paper that we tried completely. So I just got it wet.
We wrote a note, put it in the pocket of a pair of jeans, and ran it through the washer dryer. And then
I even had 2. One like inside like the tiny little change pocket, like as a as a fallback, and neither of them came through.
Yeah.
It didn't work at all.
So instead, we wrote it on there. You like soaked it in some water.
I got it super soaked, and then crumpled it and like kind of
and then flattened it back out more to dry. But it
came out alright.
Yeah, I think it came out great. I'm really happy with that note.
Oh, that sucker.
The Accidental Human by Terrence L. Greenbrier.
Terrence.
Thoughts from the people here?
Include?
I'm just
before we get
thinking about the table.
The important area.
You're thinking about this table?
Yeah, that's
this
all I'm
table?
thinking about.
Why are you thinking about it so much?
Because there's an important item there.
Would you say there's an important item on the table?
Yeah. Are you sure that... Are you trying to get that through the...
I can't remember if that shipped on console.
Remember.
No. There you go.
Well,
it got caught in it.
That's pretty good. Nice. you have to. No,
Are you
have to
talking
look
about this?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
talking about this?
You have to look at that sheet
Nobody can think
stationery
past
again.
that.
Yeah, I can't. If it's there, I can only think about
Karla
it.
is trying to increase the frothing anticipation for
Yeah.
this reveal.
Working on it.
So in the meantime, what if we were to look at this stationery that
That's
Dad
also
had made,
terrible.
which says "From the pen of Terrence L. Greenbrier" with
And then
a
it's
quill
Yeah.
writing
He was
it.
drinking out of that mug while he wrote it.
Which mug?
The mug.
Which was it? This one?
The jazz.
Do you think he highlighted anything while he was?
Yeah.
Yeah, was he using
Brightness.
this highlighter?
That's good.
Did you know that's how you? Did you know that's how you increase the brightness of a piece of paper? Is just draw all over it with a
Yeah,
highlighter?
that's.
Did you know that if you
Life.
love jazz, you buy a jazz mug?
Yes!
Oh shit!
Where's our? Do we have a real jazz mug in the office? Do we have
Oh
like?
yeah. Go
Like,
grab one.
hold
Go
on.
grab
Oh,
one.
the real one?
Yes,
There's one on my
wow.
desk. Wait, Noel has one too. You can grab the one on my desk. It's empty.
the nearest jazz.
Alright,
Yeah,
that's
the
fine.
nearest jazz mug.
It's fine. Good. It's probably good.
I
Hold
think
it like right. Hold it
Show
to
it.
the camera.
Yeah, wait, go
You-
spin it in
you-
front of the
There
camera.
you
Look
go.
to the camera. Oh,
Yeah.
There we go. Yes. Screen grab this. Make this an animated gift forever. Thank you, Noah.
Oh man, that was really good.
It wasn't quite.
Are we doing this?
It's beautiful. It's
Whoa. It's really hard.
I'll spin it slower for you. Okay.
Ooh.
Are we doing this?
Still doing it.
Alright. Yeah, we very close to the end of the development, we realized that we only had blank mugs,
Yeah.
and they were just a couple of different colors, and we were like, we need more mugs, and then we were like, we should put one on. We should have ones for different characters in the game. We need one for Dad. I think Dad is such a dork that he loves jazz, so we would just have a mug that just says the word jazz on it.
Character development.
Jazz mug was created. If you want your very own jazz mug, like Noelle was just spinning around wildly, you can go to topatico.com/gonehome.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
And,
people posting the link in chat.
Yeah,
Good.
you can buy your own jazz mug, your own Tacoma County Forestry Service mug.
Which is real cute.
Yeah, Topatico, TOPATOCO.com /gonehome, and there's also a physical version of the PC game. There's shirts, etc. But the most important thing, obviously, the jazz mug.
You know what I just realized I haven't done?
What's that?
I haven't drank any wine out of my jazz mug.
Yeah, let's fix
Son of a
it.
gun.
Oh man, I'm mad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never too late.
That's
I can do
tragic.
this.
That's sad.
Sad day.
That's fucking sad.
Yeah,
y'all.
I need to get office wine to fill my jazz mug with.
So yeah, this is like the most. This is some of the most classic, just environmental storytelling in the game. We've got a little circle table with a chalk. Okay, with a pentagram on it, with a piece of chalk next to it, so you know where the pentagram came
You're
from.
not just like, was this paint?
And then there's a possession and exorcism book on the ground next to it. And then what's this? It's a photo of Uncle Oscar that had been sitting out there. What's this? It's his name tag. Okay, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand what happened here. Environmental storytelling. Also, they were eating cereal, Honey Snaps, fuel
yeah.
for winners, while they exercised, and drinking Fizz Right ginger ale. What a wonderful meal.
What a wonderful teen life.
Yeah, you're living like a teen at that point. Let me see. Does this one just? Okay, great.
What does that tag say?
It's really good.
We're good at video games.
Yay!
Fuck off me.
By the way, a bunch of people in chat have been asking about the
I'm gonna bring basketball.
speed run.
Yeah.
You can clip through the door apparently on the PC. Is that part of the speed run?
It's part of a max speed run on PC.
Mhm.
It's not. You don't have to force your way through geometry to get the speed run on console.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a bunch of people were asking about
I've
that.
gotten both of the speedrun achievements without doing any really janky stuff.
It is more difficult on PS4 for some reason than Xbox, but
Huh.
it's doable on Cool.
So the reason I'm picking up milk right now from the recycling bin,
Theoretically an empty milk,
Yeah.
let's just say.
is we wanted to have an Easter egg in the game, a dumb Easter egg, and we were in the we did a pickup recording session with Sarah Grayson, which means you missed something in your original recording session, you come back in for like an hour to get stuff on tape, and we re-recorded 1.5 audio diaries. And that took 20 minutes. So we had an extra 40 minutes to go. And we were like, what can we do? And we were like, we did want to do that, some kind of Easter egg.
Yeah, something jokey.
You know, like maybe like a cat-based Easter egg. Like, what if... And then we figured it out, and Sarah Grayson went into the booth. And so then we had to figure out how we were going to make it happen. And so as a reference to one of, the pillars of the whole Shock game, BioShock, System Shock game canon. In System Shock 2, there's an Easter egg where at the very beginning of the game, in like the first intro area, you could climb up on a thing and find a basketball. And then if you kept the basketball in your inventory all the way until the 5th deck, which was Recreation, you could make a basket in the basketball hoop, which is the only way you could ever make a basket because that's the only basketball in the game. And when you did, you got a radio call from, I think, Captain Bananas, which was just a bunch of monkey noises.
Yeah, a lot of
killer. So, I was
when
like...
you mentioned it, I was like, I've heard that, just the sounds of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, those monkey screams.
So, to get this Easter egg, fucking spoilers.
Yeah, people in chat are all, they're like, this is what I've been waiting for.
So, I was like, we're going to make a basketball, and it's going to be hard to find it, and you're going to have to make a basket in Sam's room on that little plastic basketball hoop. So I hid it up in the rafters up here. You can't climb up there and get it, you can't reach it. So I tuned the throw strength of everything in this recycling bin so that it's extra hard so you can throw it up at the ceiling to hit those. So if you're not aiming at the ceiling, you do this. Yeah, so you can go waste on things in the game wherever you want with all the stuff, and Katie just hates things that are in a recycling bin. I usually use the milk carton because it's easiest to hit it, but let's see if I can get this first shot. Boosh!
Oh,
no! Oh, there we go! Yeah, boy! It was rolling. That was baller.
That's a lot of tension.
Yeah,
that was dangerous.
That was epic.
Yeah. Physics.
So I knocked the little plastic purple basketball, probably rubber basketball, out of the rafters. And I remember where there was a basketball hoop in this game.
Steve.
So I'm gonna go back up to Sam's room. Can you ask chat, or I'll ask chat. Can you monitor chat?
Yeah.
Do people want me to make a basket, aka a 3-pointer, or to dunk? I'm gonna do what chat says. Start tallying up the dunk versus 3 votes as I approach this good zone.
I got 1 dunk from Real Butt, which is a really good username.
Fair enough.
Okay, so far dunk, jam, dunk, 3-pointer, 360 no scope, baller, dunk, 3-pointer, 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 3-pointer,
That's the same guy.
3-pointer. Oh yeah, that was spam. No, this is all separate 3-pointers.
Right.
Oh, I don't even know. It's pretty split.
You got a dunk.
A jam. I heard a jam in there.
I think a jam counts as a dunk.
I actually think there's more 3-pointers.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man. Difficulty.
So, here, I'm going to close the door so I have a little better lighting on this thing.
What the heck? Little volleyball?
All right. So, what's up? A 3? Oh, Katie! You're weak. I was aiming at a good place. All
That's
right.
definitely not 3 points.
It's not, but she's not strong enough to throw it for a 3.
It's impossible.
She's only
come
strong enough
on.
against milk.
It's true. She's much stronger at throwing milk. I'm sorry, it's going to be a 2.
telling you to dunk it.
Yeah, it says dunk.
No, don't.
You can dunk. just to show you can dunk. There we go.
Nice.
I earned a trophy,
Look at
but
that
why?
trophy.
What are we hearing right now? What are we seeing right now?
Look at
You're in hell.
Yeah.
That's not true. This is absolutely not
You're
true.
in heaven.
Yeah.
Look at that baby in a baby area. Look at those
Look
sweet
at
babies.
weirdos.
Look at that fatty. Look at that baby cat. So yeah, you're seeing good subtitles, and so yeah, we said to Sarah Grayson, our professional and extremely talented voiceover artist, can you take the script from the first audio diary in the game back into the booth and just say the word meow instead of each word, but read it like you're reading the words, but say meow.
And she was like,
and she was like,
okay,
yep, I got that.
I'll give that. Yeah.
And she went for it. And
Boy, was it good.
if you re-listen to that audio diary, we kept it in at the end. You can hear her finish and then go like, and you can hear me outside the booth through the soundproof glass be like.
She tried, like, she really kept it right on the tone.
She was so emotionally correct.
It was perfect.
And then Chris Remo, who is working on Firewatch, I'll get it while I talk. Who's working on Firewatch, doing the music for Firewatch, and I think all the sound for Firewatch, and generally working on that team at Campo Santo. He did the original soundtrack for Gone Home. And he similarly just programmed a bunch of cat sounds into his synthesizer and replayed the music from the first audio diary to go behind Sarah reading it, which results in an amazing audio sensation. There we go.
2 things from chat. One said, when you were watching the cats on the TV, my daughter just hopped up from the puzzle she was working on and is trying to hug the screen.
That's weird.
And also, M. Mace asks, any pics of your cat, Steve, in this montage?
Yeah.
That is, those are all dev cats, friends, and us.
Right. It's my cats, Yanmin's cats, Kate's cats, friends that we know, family members. Some of Rachel's family's cats. So here comes, So this was inspired by being able to take the gnome all the way with you from the beginning to the end in Half-Life 2 Episode 2. So you find Christmas Duck at the very beginning, and then there's a special putback area for Christmas Duck.
Aww.
She lives
Nesting
in it.
instinct.
Got that silver trophy. Alright, so we're almost at the end of the game. This is
look at this sweet little.
This is their special spot in the attic, their usual spot in the attic with a little sleeping bag. This was actually inspired by part of the process for this game was just kind of being immersed in making it all the time. So it would be like me and Karla and my wife Rachel walking to the grocery store together and talking about stuff and talking about where the story was. And Rachel had suggested at some point there was one point in the story where Lonnie was gonna get kicked out of her house.
Oh yeah.
Because her dad was a jerk, and
she was gonna be living secretly in the attic.
And so Rachel was really like, no, she should have been living up in the attic, and they didn't know, and it was it didn't end up being where we went with the story, but it was the reason that we spec'd in up this kind of sleeping bag area to be in the attic, and it's like, well, no, that's just one of the places they sneak off to because it's a big house and they're trying to be secretive. So, this is the second to last audio diary in the game. Karla dropped some tea water onto it to simulate tears. Got simulated teen tears in our game. Actually, I hadn't really looked at this closely for a long time until I was replaying it to test some stuff, and Lonnie's inscription here is actually really sweet, and it kind of made me a little bit choked up a little bit. I was like, stay strong, kick ass, I love you. Is that that's so perfect for Lonnie to be encouraging, but just sort of be sorry this can't happen, you know? I don't know. So anyway, whatever.
Good. This is there's a lot of choke-uppy stuff in here. This has the photos and everything.
Oh right. This is basically the last couple rooms of Minerva's Den, effectively. Sad audio diary, photos, not a whole lot else.
Nope.
This was one of those things where we have 2 photos of Lonnie in the game. We didn't want to make more. We didn't want to have the photo of Sam. So this is one of those necessity is the mother of invention things where it's how can you have a bunch of photos but not have them be photos of the girls? And so Karla was kind of we got a close the main teen photograph you take when you have an old black and white film camera is a close-up of someone's eye.
Oh yeah.
Definitely true.
And then it was we'll take a picture of her ribbons from JROTC, and we did research here and found out what would the little rank make sense for her to be in JROTC. These are the same ribbons that she drew on that note down in the guest room. This is Karla and Rachel holding hands with a locket that we bought from Claire's.
Yep, I got it
think.
at Claire's, and I
That's so
photoshopped out the
good.
shit that was on there and put
And
on this.
photoshopped the
and-
S+L
and
on it.
This photo totally has made me go like, oh god, it's so sweet. And I'm like, that was me and come on.
That was my hand,
Right.
you said.
It's the same thing with like the thing along your road being effective.
Right,
It's like,
yeah.
I'm also glad the nail
And-
polish is chipped in that picture.
Yeah.
That's a good touch.
Yeah.
And then this is Rachel and Karla
yeah.
out on our driveway
Yeah.
of the house that we made the game in at the correct time of day to take a photo of the shadow.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, I'm about to go into the end of the game. Do we have anything final from chat that we should talk about before we go, or should I just go hit the last diary?
People are just talking about the feels levels, the intensity
Are
of
the
the
feels levels over
feels.
9,000?
Are they getting
Yeah.
dangerous?
No, everyone's just talking about teens and feelings and stuff.
So long as nobody's, overdosing on the fields.
Yeah.
Don't want to get worried about anybody.
Yeah. Thank you so much for making such a powerful game about
Aw.
queer teens. Well, our pleasure.
Aw.
Thank you for playing.
Aw.
I'm gonna go hit the final
that button?
diary here. This is the only animated mesh in the entire game.
Oh, that's not true.
Right?
What about the sewing table?
But that's so those are individual submeshes that
Okay,
are
okay,
just
okay.
being rotated.
Okay.
This is like the only
Yes.
rigged.
This is rigged,
This is
yeah.
the rigged, the one
Yeah.
animated
Watch
rigged mesh in
the
entire
pages
game.
go. Yoop,
It's
when
gonna
it- when it-
sploosh.
yeah.
Watch the page. It
Like,
moves. Look
yeah.
at it sploosh.
We did it. I did it.
So
I
on
did
the-
that. It's
on the
not good when you look at under the hood.
on the left hand side of the diary, or when she opens it, you can see that there's a letter that's been put inside the front cover, and it's the text of this that's being read now.
That was
so
a great looking. And Kate did the cover, and it looks super good. It's
Yeah.
really nice looking.
So that's our full run dev playthrough of Gone Home.
Good game, y'all.
Thank you everybody for being here to share it with us, and thank you everybody in chat for sharing questions and your thoughts on the game and your enthusiasm and telling Kate that she's great, because she is. Obviously exceptionally true. Kate is fantastic. Kate's our favorite.
And this guy.
Leon, lean in, Leon. Once again, Leon programmed our console ports. This is because of him. And yeah, thank you everybody for being here. And if you haven't played it yet and you didn't just get it spoiled shit, go on your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One in North American territories and pick it up. We're working on getting it through to the rest of the world as soon as we can. I'll just let these credits play out. Any final thoughts? Yeah.
Me? I was just happy seeing the chat spamming hearts. It's so
Yeah,
nice.
it's a lot.
Good.
It's
Train
all
hearts.
hearts and happy stuff.
really
I
cute.
love it.
You guys made a good game. Good job.
What a bunch of nice chat people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for being good.
Yeah, everybody in chat is
Yeah.
really sweet. Like I said, we'll archive this.
Yeah.
So anybody that
Console
console
programming.
programming, Leon
Console
Hartwig.
programming.
Yay!
I wrote that in there. It's cool.
So yeah, if anybody that bailed out for spoilers or wasn't up at the right time of day or whatever, you can come back and check the archive on my Twitch channel soon.
Yeah, a bunch
I'll
of
get it up
people
there
were
as soon as I
asking for
can.
that, so.
Will do. All right. Thanks everybody. Go play Gone Home. Bye.
Bye. You're ending it.
How do I go offline?
What a good question.